Becoming too popular can be such a hassle. Who knew the people would adore me so much?
Maybe reciting poetry is a way to set my dreams on the wind. All tasks have been handed out. Ah, how relaxing.
अरे यार पहले से शॉप में
My time with the Spina has taught me that carrying an unreliable weapon is worse than not carrying one at all.
चलो गाइस इसके वर्ल्ड में चलते हैं इसको थोड़ा सा राइडिन का डोमेन करवा देते हैं हम लोग ओके गाइस अब हम लोग इसके वर्ल्ड में जा रहे हैं पहले से जो भी एक दो राइडिन का जितना डोमेन करना हो ऐसे करवा देते हैं फिर चलते हैं हम लोग अपने फॉन्टेन के आर्कोन क्वेस्ट की तरफ एक बार देख लेते हैं स्टैट्स और सारा मेरा आर्टिफैक्ट सही है ओके 4 पीस लगा हुआ है फॉरेनर चलो ठीक है गाइस
Feeling lucky? Watch out!
क्या कर रहा है यार बुला भी ले भाई मुझे
May I present?
मैं एफके रहता हूँ देखता हूँ मेरे चमचे लोग कितना टाइम लगाते हैं मान ओ नाइस ओके दैट्स नाइस व्हाट ये अचानक से क्या इससे थोड़ा सा डैमेज लेता हूँ मैंने फुरीना का जो एलिमेंटल स्किल है वो अपग्रेड किया था बट मुझे अभी तक पता नहीं चल रहा है कि वो कितना अपग्रेड हुआ है चलो गाइस छोड़ो पहले अब डोमेन चलते हैं वहां पर देख लेंगे कितना का हील मिल रहा है हमें
It's pouring out here. Oh, wait, the water levels aren't rising, are they? Shower me with praise. Let my name echo in song. A proper
इस बड़े वाले को देख लूंगा। ओ दिया भाई, अच्छा खासा दिया मेरे को।
This one's got your name on it.
What the fuck bro, 4400 का बस। क्या है तो क्रिट मिस की भाई, मर जा। ओके ओके 3949, नाइस, काफी अच्छा हील है भाई। क्या उसका पिंग हाई है? क्योंकि मुझे ऐसा फील हो रहा है कि इसका पिंग हाई है, मे बी। यस, इसका पिंग हाई है, क्योंकि ये जो भी है ये बस कैरेक्टर के आसपास घूमता है और रिंग, और ये यहाँ पर खड़ा है बिल्कुल स्टैचू पोजीशन में, तो फिर यहाँ कैसे हो रहा है? ओके वो अचानक से वहाँ पहुँच गया, ठीक है।
नाइस 98K।
First let me decrease your volume. Okay, now it's up to 80%. ये क्या डोमेन से बाहर निकल गया?
नहीं,
तो ये है कहाँ?
ग्लिच हो गया।
तो अपना नॉइज सप्रेशन ऑन कर दो।
कभी कभी एम करके नहीं मारना होता, हर जगह एम नहीं करना होता।
अरे नहीं भाई, तुम पहले अपना नॉइज सप्रेशन ऑन करो, काहे कि लग रहा है कि थोड़ा सा
Oh shit, my bad man।
चलो गाइस लाइट ऑफ करते हैं, थोड़े से 8 GB के नशे लिए जाएं, नशे ऑन टॉप। मोबाइल की भी ब्राइटनेस
हमको भी आना।
हम इसको डोमेन करवा रहे हैं, क्या तुम ये काम करवा सकते हो इसको?
बिल्कुल।
सुनो, तुमको लूना करवा देगा। व्हाट द फक, डोमेन मैं, अबे भाई क्या है, लाइव हूँ अभी, आर्कॉन क्वेस्ट करने जा रहा हूँ। अरे वो
I do love Spina di Rosula's logo.
मेरा
It was
फ्रेंड है।
designed by my mother.
तुम्हारे
Have you
फ्रेंड में है
noticed
ना
how
ये
it's shaped
एलेक्स?
like a heart?
हेलो, आर यू देयर? हेलो,
चेक करना पड़ेगा, रुकिए ना। नहीं,
क्या है? तेरा आवाज कट गया। हेलो,
अरे हाँ यूआईडी बताइए ना।
अच्छा यूआईडी बताना पड़ेगा, तुम्हारे में नहीं था।
नहीं है एलेक्स मेरा फ्रेंड, ये कब हुआ?
एलेक्स लिखो, यूआईडी लिखो। लिख रहा है। हेलो।
बोलिए, लिख रहे हैं। द फक।
8944
8944
722
722
92।
92।
हम उसको बोल देते हैं। देख कर लो ना।
फ्रेंड रिक्वेस्ट शुरू करने बोले।
फ्रेंड रिक्वेस्ट गया तुमको। बताओ, बहुत ज्यादा मिस टाइपिंग करते हैं भाई हम तेज टाइप करने के चक्कर में।
इसका एलेक्स का राइडन एक बार दिखा दीजिए।
एलेक्स का राइडन देखना। देखते हैं शोकेस में लगा के रखा होगा तब तो दिखाएंगे। लगा के रखा है। भाई अभी बिगनर है। इससे अच्छा स्टैट्स इसके ट्रैवलर। व्हाट? डिया डिया का ज्यादा अच्छा स्टैट्स है भाई।
बहुत अच्छा स्टैट्स है।
हाँ, डिया का ज्यादा अच्छा स्टैट्स है राइडन से। काया तो
कहीं
यार
एक्सेप्ट करना। बहुत बढ़िया। काया को बिल्ड नहीं किया, बहुत अच्छा काम किया।
उसको हम मना किए थे काया बिल्ड मत कर।
मैं जितन कम्युनिटी में बवाल मच जाए। काया को खराब बोल दिया। व्हाट?
क्या हो गया इसको? ये ऑफलाइन चला गया क्या? आई थिंक इसका नेट ढंग से नहीं चल रहा। देख लियो। हम जा रहे हैं फॉन्टेन का आर्कन क्वेस्ट करने। अब मैस्करेड ऑफ द गिल्टी एक्ट 5। स्ट्रीम अच्छा दिख रहा है ना? सैचुरेशन वगैरह सब कुछ सही है। थोड़ा सा इंक्रीज करके हम स्टार्ट किए थे। अरे तुमको मेरा आवाज नहीं आ रहा है क्या बे?
अरे आ रहा है ना। आपको मेरा बैकग्राउंड साउंड सुनना है थोड़ा देर के लिए और?
अच्छा नहीं, चलो ठीक है, ठीक, कोई बात नहीं।
आई नो व्हाट यू वांट मदरफकर। वो तो अच्छा है कि मेरा माइक ऑलमोस्ट पुश टू टॉक के जैसा है। हम बस क्लिक करते हैं तो म्यूट हो जाता है, नहीं तो तकलीफ होता हमको बहुत।
यस। और ये पहुंच
मुस्योर न्यूविलेट। मुस्योर न्यूविलेट से बात करे जा रहे हैं अब। मुस्योर न्यूविलेट।
मसूर नुबलेट। अरे ये ऑटोमेटिक पे नहीं है भाई।
Is something wrong?
और अगर हो सकता है तो उस पे
Monsieur
डिस्कॉर्ड पे स्क्रीन
Neuvillette
शेयर
and
कर
Lady
दीजिए
Farina,
तो।
they seem to have gotten into a dispute. Please go see for yourself.
फक एलेक्स, हम नहीं
Like I
कर
said, I've already
I'm
explained
offline
everything.
And yet the problem has not been properly solved. There is little space for excuses between us. It is not my intention to offend you, but please tell me where you stand. You are the Hydro Archon Focalor, are you not? Look at this. This is a list of the victims from the recent Poisson incident.
ठीक है, बिना देखी परसों में बाढ़ आया था।
You mean
They're all. Yeah, they are.
We did not arrive in time to avert this disaster, and I will not have it happen again. I will say this once more. You must tell me everything you know. Yesterday, I found 3 stone slates in some ancient ruins near Poisson. Do you know anything about those?
Devotees.
seriously? You're
आपको
questioning
गॉडहुड
me
वाला
like this is
वर्क
a
दिया
court
जा
case
रहा है और
now.
आप एक
I
रैंडम एस
don't
ह्यूमन
know
है।
anything about that.
कोई बात नहीं।
But you found them in some ancient ruins, you say?
That's correct, which is why I came to ask you some questions. There should have been 4 slates, but one of them was missing. The other 3 feature different images that seem to correlate to the prophecy.
न्यूविलेट का हेयर डिजाइनर कौन
The
था?
prophecy?
हेयर स्टाइलिस्ट।
The second
लेकिन
of these
सही है भाई,
slits
काफी
depicts
सही
the
काफी
previous
सही।
Hydro
नहीं,
Archon
इसको ऑटर
Empyrean
बना
kneeling
दिया
before a
नेमप्लेट को।
floating
गेम में
island
ऑटर
in
है
the
ना, वो
sky,
देखिएगा
as
ऑटर,
if confessing something.
सेम टू सेम
Do you know
दिखेगा।
nothing of this either?
I
अच्छा,
don't.
इसका कोई
I've
ड्रैगन
never
फॉर्म है क्या
seen
न्यूलेट
such
का?
slates.
I'll ask you
नहीं,
again.
ह्यूमनॉइड
Do you
हाइड्रो
really have
ड्रैगन
no
लीव
information
इट अलोन।
regarding the previous
Humanoid?
आंख
Archon?
देख के समझ जाइए, ज्यादा
My
सिमिलरिटी
deciphering
मत
of the
खोजिए।
slates
अरे
indicates
यार,
that the
इसका भी
Hydro
अजदाहा
Archon
की तरह
Egeria once
एकदम
had to
होता
confess
भयंकर सा
to
कोई
or
ड्रैगन
apologize
फॉर्म। भाई
for
भाई
a
भाई भाई
certain
भाई।
sin. If anyone would
वो
know
बड़ा वाला
about it,
छिपकली?
it should be
हाँ।
you.
All gods don't have the same secrets, you know. She was herself and I'm me. Is it really so strange that I know nothing?
दोनों के बीच
I
में टेंशन बढ़ रहा
understand
है,
your concerns, but I'm
हस्बैंड
sorry.
वाइफ के बीच में।
I just don't have anything to tell you.
क्या लाइव चैट
Forgive
नहीं
me for
चल रहा?
saying this now, Lady Farina, but I have long known of your various secret investigations into certain matters.
तो चल रहा, लोड नहीं हुआ था मेरा।
There are several indications that you have been investigating the prophecy on the sly. This is not strange in itself, considering that you are the Hydro
आज
Archon.
खत्म हो जाना
But it
चाहिए।
is strange that you should
कितना
also
घंटा
claim to
बाकी
not
होगा
know
अब
any
Archon
of
quest में?
Egeria's secrets,
बहुत
as well as do nothing
बहुत
following your
हद से ज्यादा।
inquiries.
3
You have
घंटा।
never been as superficial as
घंटा।
you have presented
1:30
yourself
बजे
to
तक
be,
स्ट्रीम करेंगे तो हो जाएगा।
nor are you a fool. And
आराम
yet,
से।
your behavior is very inconsistent.
So you've been watching me all this time, have you? I didn't think you were that type.
You.
But my secret investigations, then you should know I'm actually working to take care of it. There's no point questioning or
भाई एक बात
suspecting
बोले,
me. You're the Udix, but you're
ये
still my
पता नहीं क्यों
subordinate. You
हमको
should be
ओबीएस में
following
ज्यादा
my
अच्छा दिख
lead.
रहा है एक्चुअल गेम से।
Just trust in me. You're Archon and do as I say. Never mind whether you can truly convince yourself to or not. It'll all turn out fine. That's all I have to say. We do not discuss this matter again.
आप क्या बता रहे थे अभी?
कि हमको
The opera is about to
एक्चुअल गेम
start.
से ज्यादा अच्छा
Toodles!
ओबीएस स्टूडियो में दिख रहा था।
वो इसलिए कहा है कि उसका स्क्रीन एक्चुअल गेम से 8 गुना ज्यादा छोटा सा। Dumb
और
fuck.
हम उसमें थोड़ा सा फिल्टर वगैरह भी लगाए। ये क्या है, स्लोमो?
They were showing कि रो के जा रही
not
थी।
notice us standing by the door? Wonder what's up with her. She was smiling. Huh. She didn't seem in the mood to care if we were listening in or not.
I assume you've been outside for a while now?
Oh, you noticed. Seems Farina didn't even realize we were here.
She was in a great panic, though I cannot discern the reason. Our discussion reached impasses time and again, a state of affairs that we cannot allow to continue. Still, I do not understand.
I will be
Dialogue
back in
is the
3
basis
minutes.
for understanding.
Okay.
So why did she keep refusing to engage?
इंगेज? शादी कराएगा उसको? Understood how the situation actually is.
Everyone in her inner circle has noticed that she is hiding some secret. The issue is her attitude. I fear that she will not reveal anything unless absolutely forced to. We may have to create a situation in which she will have no choice but to speak.
ओह, ये लोग उसका टेस्ट लेने वाला है।
Like what?
Normally, people will only reveal the truth when standing trial. Perhaps we must have the Hydro Archon experience just such a scenario.
But Farina's seen so many trials, and she's really good at dodging questions. How do we make sure that she won't just slip away at the first chance she gets?
We will need to consider this thoroughly, join forces with various parties, and then do what we can. If at all possible, I would prefer to recuse myself from this affair, but we must prevent the prophecy from coming to pass. This may be cruel to her, but all Fontaine is in crisis. The information a god possesses is too precious, and so we must take a chance on this. But who will lend us their aid to do such a thing?
I know who to call. Tartaglia.
It's been a while since
पता है वो जो कल आप दिखा रहे थे बकचोदी, वो कब होता है? जब आनंद होता है। जब आनंद होता है।
कौन सा बकचोदी?
कल आप वीडियो एडिट कर रहे थे।
I'm on a.
हाँ अच्छा हाँ
Well, that's everyone, huh?
वो रेसिज्म
Speaking of
छेड़ता
which,
है
it was
और
pretty smart
छेड़ा
of you to
जाता है
think of
दुनिया भर
hiding
के।
here.
Poisson
You
was just
racist
involved in a
people.
disaster, so it's presently
Poisson.
devoid of people. That naturally makes it the best choice.
And here you
Linux.
are drinking tea like it's the
The
most
fuck?
natural thing in the world, huh?
That's what families should do. Sit and
Uh-huh.
enjoy a leisurely time together.
पीछे से सुनामी
It's
आ रहा है।
nice to enjoy tea here, you know? Care for a cup?
Lend me your ears, everyone.
कान
ये कहाँ
काट
से
के
Or
दे
बात गई?
perhaps one of you might like to start us off. How about you, friend?
दो। इसका प्यूबर्टी अटेंड हो रहा है।
Me?
पिंपल्स आ
No,
रखा
I don't think
Emo
I
boy.
can.
Then, how about you, good sir?
हेयर कट होती है।
I
Good.
fear that
ये
I
कहाँ
will
से आया?
cause the mood on this boat to become as somber
यहाँ
as
पे
it is
जितना
cold.
जितना बाल बुतरो है ना सबका बाल
Well
मिला के
then,
इसका बाल हो
I
जाएगा।
guess we're lucky
देखो
we've
ना।
got a local like me to
He
organize
has
things.
some
नाविया के
hairy
पास काफी
stuff.
बाल है
Wonderful,
भाई
the spotlight at last.
Newlet has some
I guess
hairy
I'll be
stuff.
facilitating things from here.
what the
That was a
fuck do
little
you mean by
long-winded,
some
don't you
hairy
think?
stuff
ये
oh
दुनिया भर के
इसका भी
ओह
मैंने देखा
याद
था
आया याद आया ये कहाँ का
To cut to the
पार्ट है
chase, our
हाँ,
friend
तो
here, the traveler, has brought
ये
us
जो
together
चीज
to
है ना
discuss something.
उसको कैसे करके
As for
टालने का
what
कोशिश
that
कर रहा है
is,
प्लानिंग
well,
चल रहा है
let's start by
ये लोग
saying that
फुरीना
we'll
के
be
खिलाफ
pooling
कुछ
our
प्लानिंग
efforts
कर रहा है
together to
फुरीना को
create
किसी
a
सिचुएशन में
series of
फंसाएगा ये
traps.
लोग
ओ आप देखिएगा ना कितना खतरनाक
Oh,
प्लानिंग है आप
how
हिल जाइएगा
intriguing.
Well, it's
अब फिर
just
ही
an
फरीना टेक
expression,
ओवर कर
really.
दी थी
One that I just learned from Chlorand.
Oh,
And
मतलब उसके
used
पास
on the
दिमाग
spot.
है
So, let's invite her
फरीना
to
के पास
explain in detail.
हाँ
A round of
फाउंटेन की
applause,
सबसे बड़ी
please.
सेलिब्रिटी है भाई वो दुनिया में ऐसे ही बस दो शब्द बोल दे के सब झुक जाएगा उसके सामने
Huh?
ऐसे कैसे सेलिब्रिटी है
Didn't you
अमीर
say
बाप
that
की
you
बिगड़ी
would be
बेटी नहीं हो
facilitating
सकती है क्या
this?
Oh,
है
come
ना
now. Your work doesn't involve
बिगड़ी भी
much
तो है
public speaking, right?
अरे
गजब
अरे
गजब
अरे
This is a
अरे
good
इतना
chance
इतना
to
चेप नहीं हो
practice.
यार
You
दूर
might
हटो
even pick up some fancy oratory tricks
अरे
to impress your
बाप रे
boss with in
बाप
the future.
holy shit
I see.
why is she covering her
And
cleavage
what does my boss say?
the fuck
He is glad that you
ये
consider
तो
him
अलग
your
हील पहन के
boss.
घूम रहा है इतना
Do
लंबा है
go
फिर
on.
भी हील पहन रहा
यूडेक्स है भाई
है यूडेक्स आयोडेक्स
don't look at a triangle what the who
In
boy
that
boo
case,
नहीं
do
नहीं
any
हम
of you
कुछ
have experience
भाई इसका
hunting?
शर्ट
बाप
इसको
रे
कोई नया
फिजिक्स
Not
शर्ट
that I
दिलाओ यार
recall.
फिजिक्स भाई
Fremine and I once used a wooden stick in a basket to catch wild rabbits when we were younger. As for Lynette,
फिजिक्स
oh,
ये
right.
बास्केट
You
वाला
were
चीज
sick
याद
that
रखिएगा
day, weren't you?
क्यों
I've also gone diving to catch some fish
ये
before.
हमेशा इतना थका हुआ क्यों रहता है
Does that
प्यूबर्टी में
count?
क्या क्या करते रहता है
I'm afraid not.
अब
अबे
You
हो
यार
भी
may
सकता है
not
इसके
know,
क्लोरेंड
आसपास
भाई
क्लोरेंट
अंदर दिख
Fontaine
रहा है
once played host to a group
what
known as the
don't
Marechaussee
don't
you
Hunters.
can see her
Though that
skin
was their name, they
just
color
did not hunt animals, but rather various monsters left behind by the ancient dynasty of King Remus. Today,
Remus.
Fontaine's monster population has already thinned greatly, so the hunters have blended back into society, taking up arms in other lines of work. They
यार
even left
इसलिए
a
रहता था
unique
कहता हटो सब
methodology of hunting
मीटिंग
in
मीटिंग
their
साइड करो
raid.
चाय लाओ
A trap comprises of the
Bet लगाओ।
following
माकड़ के
components:
जाल
bait, a trigger, and a containment
बता
device.
न्यूलेट बेचारा वहाँ प्राइमरी
Sometimes
वाटर
a
कंट्रोल
lethal
कर रहा
implement
था और
will
ये
also be
दोनों
necessary
बेट
to
लगाए
deal
हुए
with the
था
prey.
उधर
और
गए
किस
ना
चीज का एक
If
कप
we were to
कॉफी
build
का
the trap together, right now,
तो शर्म
what
नहीं
would
आया
you
उधर गए
choose
ना
to build it with?
लेनी और लिनेट तो कॉफी पी रहा है
For
चाय पी
me,
रहा है
I would prefer
फर्नेटे कोई इज्जत
something
नहीं है उसका
basket
कुछ नहीं
shaped.
दिया
अरे
Pigeons
सबसे
and
छोटा
rabbits
बेटा है
will
ना
see
घर
the
का
bait and naturally enter the snare.
भाई
Our
ये लोग
line of
बास्केट
work
बना रहे हैं
requires a deft
कर
hand,
सकते हैं क्या
and we're
चीजें
some of the
बताओ जो
best in the
आंडू
industry,
झांडू है वो सब
so
बैठा
you
हुआ
can
है जो
count
मेन
on our
पावरफुल लोग है वो सब
techniques.
खड़ा है
You used some of those techniques while moving the people of Poisson,
वो
didn't you?
तीनों जब अपना पावर
My
दिखाने पा जाएगा तो ये
subordinates
तीनों
mentioned
के
that
सामने
you
कुछ है
even
जी बैठा
performed
हुआ
some
जो तीन
magic
है
for the
और
ball and
कहीं से
changer.
नेब उठ के चला ही नहीं कर
Yes,
मैया
and
ऐसा
I even
बाबू
managed to gather
समझ
some
में नहीं आता कौन
intelligence
है
in the meantime.
फादर
I'm
मदर
quite the multitasker if I do
पता
say
नहीं
so
फिजिकली
myself.
मदर है लेकिन
I'm
प्रैक्टिकली
afraid I
फादर
can't
है
claim that as
व्हाट
my strong
What the hell?
suit.
प्रैक्टिकली
I
फादर
prefer
नहीं
more
ये सब थोड़ा
stable
ठीक नहीं
methods,
लगेगा
ये
थियोरेटिकली
वाला
placing
गाना
फादर
एकदम
bait
मस्त
in the
ये वाला
water
गाना एकदम
and
मस्त सूट
waiting
करता
for
है
the
तुम ही
fish
हो
to come
माता
within
तुम
reach. That's the kind of method I would count on.
लेट मी प्ले दैट
Calm
शिट
and
ना
steady.
छोड़ो
Exactly the kind of person
नहीं
who would
नहीं
catch loads of
calm
fish.
and steady
And I can be their assistant.
ओके यू बी
With
माय
discretion,
असिस्टेंट बिच
I'm sure.
I'd probably use some sort of mechanical animal. Papa once bought me some small clockwork
Occasional
squirrels,
animal
mice, and such.
like
When placed in the forest, they can attract others of their
dildo.
kind. I remember
Dildo.
that you liked those too, didn't you?
I did.
बाप रे
एकदम
बाप.
And that would
एकदम
be a good
छोटा
way
सा
to go
डिटेल है
about it.
फ्लोरिना के विजन
If
पे
they're
बहुत ओपी
realistic
है।
enough, animals of the same kind will follow them all the
फ्लोरिन का
way to
विजन
the
किधर है?
trap.
वो
What
रहा
about
ना
you,
उसके
Monsieur
वो
Neuvillette?
उसके ऊपर
I
मतलब सॉरी
fear
गला के
I do
नीचे.
not have any related
आपको पहला बार में
experience.
दिखा नहीं था लिटरली।
That makes sense. You
वो
usually
अलग
solve
बात है, मेरी
problems
नजरें
directly,
कमजोर है, मुझे
without the
चश्मा लगा
use
के
of
नहीं
any
बैठे
such
थे भाई.
tricks. But I do have one more question for you, monsieur. If we were to create a
मोसी
trap
वाला।
now, how would you design it?
I would like for
न्यूलेट
it to be
कहेगा हम बस उठा
effective,
के बजाड़
but
दें।
bring no harm to the prey. A more gentle
इस
trap would be
फ्लोरिना को ये लोग
ideal.
खरगोश समझ रहे हैं। बाल्टी
Kind,
में
as
पकड़
always.
के।
However, our intention doesn't necessarily change the containment device and the type of implement we need. If we wanted to kill the prey in one strike, we
You
would
need
need
a
a powerful
powerful
implement. However, that also goes for prey that must be captured and safely contained.
Wait, why is that?
Only a hunter who's a true expert at subduing their prey can snare it without harming it. The line that divides life and death is often exceedingly thin.
So, are we
ओए
going hunting
प्रहलाद,
together?
अरे वो ऑफ कर दे, हीटर हम ऑन ही छोड़ दिए
Seeing
गलती से.
ourselves as hunters? It kind
हाँ
of
हम ऑन ही
works,
छोड़
but
दिए गलती से.
maybe it's still not the best metaphor.
If our means of
हाँ
capturing
जीतू
and
का
dealing
जाता
with
है ना,
our
अपना
prey is
क्या
to put
जाएगा.
them on trial, then the
Just
hunting
imagine जीतू
metaphor
अभी
is
स्ट्रीम
actually
देख रहा
quite
हो.
accurate. But we shall require much more courage than any hunter to judge a god, a being whose seat is an exalted throne.
Just listen to the voice line.
So that's what's
Yes.
going on. Sounds very interesting.
Into the waters as foretold in the prophecy. नहीं, भूख नहीं लगा मेरे को. There is neither hunter nor prey, but there must be a trap. That is what you will need. Okay. I need a trap. I got it. भाई स्पिनाजी रसूला का बेस 750 मीटर दूर है यहाँ से. ये कब हुई? अरे यार
It's been a tough few days, hasn't it? So much has been happening. Paimon didn't think the meetings would go on for so long, but everyone seemed pretty fired up, huh? Paimon thought they'd be at least a little frightened. Well, Fremine was, now that Paimon thinks about it, but everyone else just looked a little surprised. Well... It's hard to say. Paimon doesn't have any experience with this sort of thing. But with you around, Paimon sure will do great. After all, you're the most reliable person in the world, aren't you? Did you just pour some tea? Paimon didn't notice you doing that at all.
No, I did not. तो चाय कौन डाला?
What's that? Paimon's never seen that cup before.
Don't be frightened. I'm just joining you two for tea. I merely refrained from saying anything till now.
Who's that voice? But there's no one here.
Aw, have you forgotten me already?
Wait, you are familiar. You're the voice we heard from the sky in Sumeru.
The voice from the sky, I fear that description is wrong. Though, not completely wrong. You're feeling lost now, just as you were feeling previously. I sensed that confusion and thus came to you. Guiding people is an irresistible hobby of mine, after all. Consider me a passerby, just accepting a commission from my friend's disciple on a whim. The
प्रोसेस
prophecy.
सही होने वाला है?
Yes, what has been prophesied will be fulfilled.
Okay.
You may view such things as the history of the future.
What? Then is there any way we can stop it?
I believe you have witnessed a failed attempt with your own eyes. Can everything in Tevat so easily be changed?
Can there really be no exceptions?
Ah, so
Mage
you've caught on.
and
Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, could things be happening in hidden corners where the gods' gaze does not fall? Are the things that you shall see different from the fate that the gods perceive?
यार ये मेज एन है कौन?
What is she talking about? It all sounds really impressive and important and stuff, but it also sounds kind of scary.
I believe that you understand, right? Some things are insignificant, but others you must reach out to change. Ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what will happen in Tevat's future. All you need to do is to play your part. This was good tea, by the way. Thank you for your hospitality. Well, that'll be all for today.
The voice. It's gone.
Mage and is this clue you are leaving for us? Yes. You relate to complicated feelings when you wake up. Someone seems to be outside.
What? I want to hear someone talking. All right, coming. Hey, it's you who's getting lazy, okay?
Well, I see I've walked in on some
Oh,
lively
Mona.
banter.
Mona!
Fine, just fine. I went to take part in that Steambird panel. It turned out to be more interesting than I expected. Not all Fontainians are pessimistic about this. One journalist mentioned that sitting around and waiting for the end to come would be wrong, and that they should make their own rescue preparations. I agreed, so we had a brief chat with her.
Did she have pink hair by any chance?
Why, yes, it was Charlotte. I assume you've heard of her, no? That daredevil journalist? I'm in
Yes.
full support of her view. Prophecies are very important, but how can people allow their lives to be commandeered by just a few words?
That's right! Paimon's glad to hear something sensible for once.
Ah, yes. About what we had discussed before. I did try, but I'm afraid I couldn't reach the old hag. I'll try again tonight, but I wouldn't get your hopes up.
Okay.
Huh?
Huh? You tell Mona about her mysterious guest.
Goodness gracious. Are you serious?
She said that even the god's gaze has blind spots. Pretty bold if you ask Paimon. Most people would believe the gods to be all-knowing, right?
The Hexen Circle members are certainly anything but ordinary. As for the mage named N, the old hag has mentioned her a few times. She said that N's sense of direction is incredible, and that she loves guiding those who are lost. But I've never met her, and if she were still alive, she'd be... Well, suffice it to say that the hag's at least a few hundred now, and N's been around for longer than that.
Whoa. The Hexen Circle sounds like a scary group. But they must really stay in shape to live so long.
Their abilities alone are pretty terrifying. If she came to see you personally, then the problem you're facing must truly be of great importance.
Well, it's not like Paimon could understand anything she said.
Yes, she was quite cryptic, but I suspect she means that there is still a way to turn things around. She didn't say when or what that would be, though, so... Perhaps it is something that you cannot know right now. Traveler, Paimon, are you two
Bro,
alright?
ये हेक्सन सर्कल का जो
Oh,
मेंबर है ना,
we're fine.
बहुत
We're
गलत
just a
मेंबर
little
है।
down right now.
रेन डॉटर,
Kind
अल्बीडो
of
की
feels like
मम्मी,
the end is
गोल्ड।
coming, you know?
अच्छा तो अभी
I
से ही
see.
एल्बिडो का
I feel
हमारा
that
रोल
same
शुरू
sense
होगा
of
क्या?
desperation
नहीं
too.
नहीं नहीं, अल्बीडो इन्वॉल्व नहीं है इसमें।
I guess you
In
could consider me
involved maybe,
someone who has often
but
witnessed
वो
fate.
पार्ट है वो
So
हेक्सन
far as
सर्कल
I
का।
have seen
इसको
it,
अल्बीडो की
cannot be
मम्मी,
swayed. But
जितना भी
even so,
रिप्टाउन देखे है ना,
I
अल्बीडो की
still
मम्मी
hope
क्रिएट
for
किया है।
क्या जी
and
क्या
इमोना
जी
जो
believe
हैक बोल रही थी,
miracles.
इमोना जो हैक का नाम बोल रही
Astrology
थी,
is
वो
eternal
भी
and
हेक्सन सर्कल का
rational,
पार्ट है।
but fate may not be.
Fuck
ये
the
It is
है
cruel,
क्या?
but it can also
Do
be
you want to read
beautiful.
600 pages
Perhaps
of
that's what N was
ना
trying to
ना
tell
leave
you.
it leave it leave it. I'm
Not to
sorry.
lose heart, and to
वो
believe that
अच्छा
what
हुआ
you
कि
are
हम माइक
seeing
नहीं
playing
खोलता
out
उस टाइम,
before
तो
you is not
आप
yet set
पहले
in
हेक्सन
stone.
सर्कल सुनते उससे पहले
I
आप
did
बोल
originally think of steering clear of all this, but I couldn't.
इमोना के कैप पे जो
Even if
वो
this is
स्टार
all
जैसा है ना,
futile, I still wish to help everyone.
वो उसका सिंबल
If
है
we don't
वहाँ का,
struggle to the
कैनरिया
last,
का।
then how can we face the end when it
खानरिया
comes?
ये क्या खानरिया
हेक्सन
से बिलोंग
सर्कल।
करती है?
You do have a
नो
point.
तो फिर ये माथे पर
There I
सिंबल बना
go,
के
talking
क्यों
about
जाऊंगा इसमें?
astrological principles
जो
again.
ये जो
Sorry about
मैजिस्टस नाम
that.
है ना, ये
The
लाइक
moment I start
बहुत
talking
बढ़िया
about
होता है।
work-related
हाँ,
stuff.
पहले वो उसके
Oh,
पास था, जो ये
I need
हैक
to get
बोली उसके
going.
पास था, फिर वो अपने आप को थ्राइस मैजिस्टस
It
बोली।
was worth trying to comfort
3
you,
टाइम्स
even
अच्छा,
if
मोना
only a
से
little.
3 टाइम ज्यादा अच्छा।
I believe that you'll
What?
help those who are
ये क्या
struggling
बच्चों
in
वाले
the
नाम
same
है
way
यार?
I did.
यो,
I suppose that might be why we always seem to meet by coincidence.
पता नहीं मोना का
Paimon feels
कपड़ा जो भी
kind of
डिजाइन
moved
किया ना
by what
यार
Mona
बिल्कुल भी
said,
अच्छा नहीं किया।
but also kind of sad too. Hey, traveler, Paimon suddenly feels
अभी
like going
कम्युनिटी
outside
को
for a walk.
उदास कर दीजिए।
Let's go. Let's walk around the city, shall we? There's a few spots we always like to walk
ये
by.
हेक्सन सर्कल का मेंबर हम लोग पे नजर रखे हुए ट्रैवल एयर पे।
हाँ मम्मी
Bonjour you fucking ass। स्टीरियो का है, मतलब डायनेमिक रेंज फुल का है।
क्या क्या क्या?
डायनेमिक रेंज फुल है और क्या है?
अगर डायनेमिक रेंज क्या है बे?
फुल है, सही है। लाइक एक डायनेमिक रेंज लिमिट करिएगा ना तो एक स्पेसिफिक एरिया का ही साउंड सुनाई देगा, और डायनेमिकली फुल कर दिया तो पूरा मैप में जो हो रहा होगा वो सुनाई देगा, जितना रेंज है गेम का।
What?
लीव इट डू द बेस्ट
I
मदरफकर।
got some primo gems.
एक्चुअली सम
Yeah, it's
My time with the Spina.
टाइम विद स्पिन। यूज द waypoint motherfucker।
yeah I have.
नाइस। हेक्सन सर्कल इज सो फक्ड। ये लिटरली वेंटी का जब आर्कन पेट हो रहा था ना मॉन्स्टर का, उसी टाइम पे इसका आया था इवेंट में, इसके बारे में पता चला था।
Huh?
पर
वो
हम उस
लिमिटेड
टाइम
टाइम इवेंट,
स्किप मार
Names
दिए
are
थे।
written in this newspaper.
नहीं वो लिमिटेड टाइम इवेंट
What's
था,
going
हम भी
on?
नहीं जा किए वो इवेंट 1.1
Let
1.2 का
Paimon see.
इवेंट।
The underwater stronghold, the Fortress of Meripede, has continued in its noble autonomy, but that does not mean that others cannot interact with it. My recent attempts to enter the fortress bore little fruit. Huh. Guess Charlotte still hasn't given up on that.
लॉल।
Thus, did an Outlander friend become the focus of this report? A blonde adventurer with
Sark
their
to
wife
ligo hai
Mary,
machine.
legends trailing in their wake. It is said that this mysterious traveler once visited the underwater fortress. So while the fortress's interior remains a mystery behind closed doors, do not fear, for the tales of the
Cool,
traveler
random
contain
SNPC
surprises
character.
in spades. Journalist Charlotte's biggest scoop yet,
दुकान जो
the
हो रहा।
Traveler's Trail, World Walker.
अरे बाप रे
Charlotte took
बाप।
so many awesome photos of us and we never
Famous
even
over.
noticed her. She hasn't been able to get a hold of anything at the fortress, so since we're easier to find, she's using us as the subject matter instead?
पूनम all over again।
Well, fine. Those headlines and photos do look cool, so Paimon will forgive her this time.
You sure know who is पूनम?
अच्छा वो सर्विकल कैंसर वाली। भाई 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 वो मतलब लोग आजकल नाम पाने के लिए क्या नहीं करता है भाई।
ये बंदा से बात करिए, आपको अचीवमेंट मिलेगा
पक्का। हमको क्यों लग रहा
नो
तुम कोई
स्कैम,
क्वेस्ट में खिंचवा देगा हमको।
नो स्कैम, नो स्कैम, नो स्कैम। अरे क्वेस्ट रहता था उसके ऊपर बन गया था। कुछ खरीदने बोलेगा, खरीदिएगा। हाँ, आई हैव ए लुक, और सारा किताब खरीद लीजिए।
इतना सारा
हाँ,
ए
फ्री
टू
मुझे
जेड
मिलेगा। हाँ हाँ, ए टू जेड
कितना मिलेगा।
अचीवमेंट मिलेगा। हमको तो मिला था, मे भी आपका एक आध को किताब मिसिंग हो, लेकिन मिल जाएगा आपको भी आराम से। 30,000 मोरा जाएगा जाएगा।
और कितना प्री मुझे मिलेगा।
20 मैक्स।
20 मिल जाएगा तब वर्थ इट हो जाएगा।
इससे दो होता है, एगो ई वाला मिलेगा और एगो और फक नहीं मिला
मिला।
देखा, एगो और मिलेगा अभी, लेकिन वो एगो और किताब कहाँ तो मिलता है, वहां जाना पड़ेगा आपको। सबसे ऊपर में था।
देयर इट इज। व्हाट?
एगो और मिलेगा अभी अचीवमेंट। एगो और है, वो बुक अभी आपको मिला नहीं, वो बुक मिल जाएगा तो अचीवमेंट मिलता है। देखा, 30,000 मोरा के बदले 5 का प्री मुझे। Isn't that good?
No.
What the fuck?
We're here! Paimon's hungry. Should we go in and get something to
ये
eat?
भुक्कड़ है एक नंबर की। खाली
भाई
दिन भर
आप लैल्टन राइड में देखते ना, ये दिन भर में 20 बार खाई है फिर भी इसका पेट नहीं भरा तो।
बाप रे बाप। अगर ट्रैवलर कंगाल हो जाए तो उसका रीजन यही है।
बोतल।
What?
Quick! Look! That's the limited edition, only 16 slices a day cake! It was so delicious the last time we tried it! Despite the tense situation we were in, let's give it another go! I'm sure it'll be great!
Rina, please.
One slice of cake, please.
Someone showed up after all! Oh, wait, you're the one from the Palais Mermonia.
Oh, are you here to buy cake too? It seems Monsieur Nervalette was right. You really can eat.
What?
Wait, did he really say something like that?
That's right. Even he has his own preferences when it comes to food. As for me, I love the cake and coffee here.
Do you come here often?
No.
Usually every day.
Every day?
It's part of my daily schedule, apart from work. I shall have my cake and coffee.
Then what if someone told you one day that this place would be closing soon, and you wouldn't get to eat cake here anymore? What would you think?
But why would it close?
Well, Paimon doesn't know either, but maybe the waters will rise tomorrow.
What?
You
कल
know,
ही
like in
पानी
the
ऊपर
prophecy.
आने वाला।
Oh, the prophecy. To be honest, I haven't paid much attention to that. No. Still, even if there'd be no more cake tomorrow, that wouldn't keep me from having some today. No.
Cake,
It's the same
more
for
like
eating in
drizzly.
general. You might not be able to eat tomorrow, but if you can do so
Not
today,
that
then you
type
should
of
carry
cake.
on. That's what people call living, you
Because
know.
in that type of cake, the yellow cherry
Eatable
comes
cake,
out.
not lickable cake.
Don't be sad.
Yes.
Excuse me, could I have
Sydney?
2 more slices of cake to go?
What the
These
fuck?
2 slices are for you. Sijuin said that this kind of expression you're making is what humans call being
Being
sad.
Sad.
Oh, you know Sijuin?
अब ये सीजविन कौन है बे?
I sure do.
वो भी
She was born
yeah.
before me, and she
अच्छा, वो
sometimes comes
डॉक्टर।
to the surface to teach us
Yes.
things
Well.
about humans.
भाई डॉक्टर को भूल गया।
She said that humans are creatures that are saddened
Yeah, I
easily.
remember, I
Yes,
remember.
and you can only lift their spirits by feeding them delicious food. So please try the
वो
cakes
अभी
here.
तक पता नहीं चल
I've
रहा,
got
फोर
something
स्टार
else
की
to do,
साइज
so I'll be going now.
confused।
You two try to stay in a good
क्योंकि
mood
वो
after
अभी तक आए
eating,
नहीं
all
इसलिए
right?
करने के लिए।
Bye.
बहुत चांस है कि क्लोरेंट के साथ आएगी।
क्या किसके साथ?
And there she goes.
क्लोरेंट। हाँ
All right,
हाँ,
let's
हाँ।
dig in.
भाई
I'm sure this
आप
cake will be delicious.
आपको क्या लगा हम क्या बोल रहे थे क्या लगा था
तुम एंड के बाद थोड़ा सा उसको खींचा लगा
It's
जैसे
more delicious than last time, and the
अरे यार
flavor gets
बोतल ही
even
काहे
better with
दिखा
a sip of tea. It sure
बैठ
would be
जाओ उस पे
nice if
जाकर
we
तुम
could come again tomorrow.
वही तो कह
Sure
रहे
would be nice
बोतल
if we
सही
could
नहीं
always
है
eat delicious food here.
मर पाऊंगा बाजार दो
लीव होटल टे
Shit.
बोर्ड
Shit. Leave.
Oh, we're near the Steambird office.
Oh,
Let's go look for Charlotte and have a chat.
alright. गलत कोई oh fuck.
दिस इज अ पेन इन एस
इतना फाउंटेन का वर्ल्ड क्वेस्ट का है एक्सेप्ट कर लें चो बच्चा को काहे ढकेल ले तला शर्म नहीं आया
बच्चा का भाई हम यहाँ डिस्टेंस डिस्प्लेसमेंट यूज करना था हमको
डन भाई हाँ डोंट टेल मी लंबा है क्वेस्ट है प्लीज डोंट
आई एम गोना
Fuck yeah,
स्किप
good.
दिस
हमको लग रहा है ये लंबा क्वेस्ट है नहीं चलो ठीक है बच गया आप अच्छा हुआ गप से खुल गया ये विंग कैसा
कौन सा
एकदम न्यू बुलेट और फुरीना में मैचिंग
हाँ
आप वहाँ पे जाके देख सकते हैं इन्वेंटरी में मतलब कैरेक्टर सेक्शन में क्लेम कर लीजिए मिल ही जाएगा कुछ ना कुछ आगे भैया
ओह रेपुटेशन लेवल
उसे तो पंख मिलता बस 25% यक आर यू नॉट ए साइकोपैथ ओह
10 लेवल पर जाकर हमको मिलेगा वो वाला
देखिए कैसा है ना फुरीना पे अच्छा रहेगा तो हम भी ले लेंगे ऐसे फुरीना या नोलेट कोई तो निकाल के रहेंगे हमें वो
नोलेट निकाला तो मैं भी
अरे यार नोलेट नहीं निकल पाया 4.5 में ही आ रहा है वो डाउन फक छूते रहे
हाँ भाई कंप्लीट हो गया भाई
Wow! If it isn't the Traveler and Paimon! Oh, have you seen the article I wrote about you?
No.
You got some nerve. You just used us to make some quick mora.
Oh, you needn't worry about that. I heard that you were in Poisson some time back, so I sent you a letter to discuss just that. It appears you didn't receive it, though. It's all right, though. I've set aside the amount intended for you. I've even set the table with some food.
Really?
How
Fish
triggering
attack.
this can be.
You're almost a little too easy to win over, Paimon. If I were a journalist with ulterior motives, you'd be in trouble now, you know.
Paimon knows you're not like that.
बाजू
Still, what brings you here all of a sudden? Were you looking for me?
साले
A
को
friend of
ड्रैगन
ours
साइड
met you a
फेंक दो
while
जड़
back,
के मर
and when
जाओ
she mentioned it, we thought of coming to see you. Her name's Mona.
कपड़ा कपड़ा ना पहन ले
Ah, so you know Miss Mona as well. She's a guest
कपड़ा
columnist for our
पहनी तो
paper.
है भाई तब वो
Really
क्या
good
नंगी
one,
दिख रही है
too.
बहन
She's so young and already such a
Angry guy.
brilliant astrologist.
लेग पीस तो
So
बड़ा
she mentioned
कमजोर है
me.
भाई
What did she say?
She said that you're a real daredevil
क्लाउड
of a
भेज रही हूँ
journalist.
पूरा बैकलेस
Nice.
Yeah.
In which case,
वो तो
can
सही में
this
मर जाएगी
daredevil
ये
journalist
ऐलान भी
dare to request an exclusive interview
सोचो
with the
क्लाउड
legendary
के हवा
traveler
कहाँ
and
घुसेगा
Paimon?
what the fuck
So your
बर्फीली
article in the
हवा
paper today doesn't count?
बिल्कुल डीप
Oh, of
डाउन
course
इन
it
हर
doesn't.
एस
That was more like live photography. What I'd like to
Oh.
do is dive deeper and
Deep
ask you to talk
rectum हो
about the
जाएगा
things you...
Yeah. Are we even qualified enough?
Why not? If I say
By
you're worth an
knowledge.
interview, then you're worth it. But not right now, of course. I'll need a few days
फाइट
to
करके
prepare.
देखना पता चलेगा बाकी
Oh.
टाइम
In that case, we'll just chat when you have the time then?
Oh, so that's a yes? Splendid! I'll tell the
Splendid.
editor-in-chief immediately. I'll have to
Splendid.
apply for lighting, a venue, some props, and...
स्प्लेंडेड करीब कहेंगे
Whew, so much to get done now.
अरे हम
Talk to you
गरीब
later.
लोग हैं भाई
थैंक यू वो तो है
Wait, Charlotte. Paimon's still got a question for you.
शॉट इट भाग गई तो
And what's that?
अच्छा रुक कर
If,
हम सोचे भाग
just for example, Fontaine were to be flooded tomorrow, what would you do today?
It's
I'll
like
fuck you.
Huh.
it's
That's the
like
prophecy you're
Kim
talking
Jong
about, isn't
Un
it?
है और आपसे पूछ रहा
I
है
mean,
क्या
I do
तुम्हारा
hear
जान
about
मार
it
लेगा
often,
तो
but I've never once
What?
thought that the day could be tomorrow. If you're
न्यूक्लियर फेंक
seriously
देगा उसकी
asking,
माथा
then
में
I might
बस
try
एक
and think
बंदा
of a way
मारने
to
के
leave Fontaine.
कहाँ मतलब
But
पूरा
I'm still
फैमिली
a
उसका चढ़
journalist,
जाएगा
first and foremost.
2-3
That means
एक्स्ट्रा
I have a
मिलियन
duty to
किसका
be reporting from the scene. And secondly, I wouldn't forsake my homeland that
किम
easily.
जोंग उन
From what I've seen, most people don't know
उसके
what they do should the
उसमें
worst
क्या
come to
कहते
pass.
हैं क्या होता है
what
जो
do
Sure,
they
it
सभा
might be
वगैरह
better
है
just to
स्पीच
behave
दे
like
रहा था तो
normal
एक
rather than
उसका
worry
कोई
over such an end.
जनरल
So in all likelihood,
हल्का झपक
I'd
लिया
probably still be
तो वो
prepping at the
उसको
office for
देख
that
लिया
interview of ours.
पता है
I
क्या
know
किया
what you're
उसके साथ
thinking. That sounds a bit
Right.
sad, but I've always believed that
तोप
it's
के
best to do
सामने
what you
बैठा कर
enjoy.
गोली मारा है तोप से
Just think
उसको
about it. If this
सलाम
nation really were to be suddenly destroyed tomorrow, but
हाँ
I still successfully finish an
डायरेक्ट
exclusive
तो
interview
फायर
with a
किया उसके
truly
ऊपर
unique
समझ
person,
रहा है ये चीज
then the
तो
story
डायलॉग
I would
तो
wind
गलत
up
Kim
writing
Jong
would
Un that
truly
is
be
working
timeless.
out
And then do you know what I'd do?
क्या क्या क्या
Well, I'd write that story,
what
send it for
would you
printing,
call
and use
Kim
messenger
Jong Un
pigeons to
if
get
he
copies
goes
out to
to
the
gym
various
या
nations as
वर्कआउट
soon
करेगा
as
तब
possible.
उसको क्या बोलेगा
I'm not a dreamer, nor am I a workaholic, but I
किम
do love my
जोंग जिम
job, and I'd be proud of leaving such an article
पता
behind.
नहीं क्या बोला
I guess you could say that
Kim
I was
Jong
born
Un
to be a journalist.
स्लिम
But anyway, that's my answer. And on that note, I'll get back to my preparations.
ये कौन था बे?
That's
Slim Jong
so
Un
nice.
slim पतला
All of a sudden, Paimon actually
क्या क्या
kinda
पतला
envies her. Anyway, let's go and take a
Anyways,
look at the sea, shall we?
चढ़ जाएगी पाइमोल तो रबरी मछली के डंडा से निकाल वो नहीं करेंगे अच्छा खासा डूब के मर रही थी काहे निकाल लिए
ये पूरा रास्ता बगल बगल करते जाती है जहाँ भी
The
जाती है
sea breeze and scenery can be a pretty soothing combo, huh?
हम तो सी साइड जाएगी तो एकदम छाता पर
Paimon's been thinking,
throw this bitch
if it wasn't Fontaine, but all of Tevat that would be destroyed tomorrow, where would we go and what would we do? No,
Really?
Paimon should ask, if you could
पाइमोल तो
choose,
उड़ जाएगी भाई
what would you like to do?
ये बड़ भी उड़ जाएगी हम लोग को छोड़ देगी
हम
नहीं
उसको
कुछ
पकड़ लेंगे
don't make fun
We've
consider the
always
point
been moving to the
फिर तो
next
मेरा पकड़ लेना
destination, so we
पैर
haven't spent much time thinking about these
हाँ
kinds of things.
हाँ
We
whatever it
didn't
is
have to either, with us always being on the road and whatnot.
what the fuck
You mean, still traveling?
yes
आवाज लिटरली 2 पे है और फिर भी लाउड लग रहा है इसे कम करेंगे
Wait, isn't that what we've always been doing?
क्यों
आई डोंट नो आई बता ओके लाइव स्ट्रीम पे छोड़ो नहीं बताते
क्या किसके बारे में ये तो बता दो
यू नो दैट गाय वेरी वेल
क्या नीलेश के बारे में
मे बी जस्ट डोंट डू अ फकिंग शिट
मैसेज मी ऑन व्हाट्सएप
लेट्स हैव दिस फॉर अनदर डे
ना ना बता यार
Feels like you'll
Leave
grow
it.
mold if you stay
व्हाट्सएप
here
पे
long
बताना
enough.
साले टाइप कर जल्दी से ज्यादा भेज भेज मेरे को
But it's still better than the Fortress of Mirapede, that's for sure. It's not only damp there, but salty too.
So the two of you are still here. Wonderful.
Oh, you're from the Palais Mermonia, aren't you?
नो आई वाज नॉट देयर मदरफकर पाइमोन भाई 53 मिनट से हम स्ट्रीम कर रहे हैं हमको पता भी नहीं
To
चला
the
यार
Fortress of Meropide.
भेज दिया ओह शिट
Not at all. I'm well aware that
इसको
you're
भेजा
friends of his. Actually,
गलत
I'm
है
here to pass along a message for him.
नीलेश को भेज दिया
रिलेटिव
What the-
Yes, inside the Opera House. The Maréchaussée Phantom has declared the incident a
Yeah.
small-scale riot.
A riot?
अच्छा
Well, that
They'll get
said,
it.
I don't personally think it
But
was
why?
that serious. Lady
Why?
Farina was watching a
Because
performance at the Opera
एक नंबर
House.
से 8 जीमेल
And while she
बनता
was resting during an intermission, some other audience
Yeah.
members suddenly started harassing
अरे
her.
तो आलतू फालतू जीमेल है ना
Loudly
उससे बना
accusing
कर
her
दे
of
दो
doing nothing about the prophecy crisis.
Don't give a fuck.
And
Alto
before she
falto
could
Gmail
respond,
वही दे दो
others
और
started
क्या
to join in.
just dodge it
The crowd
उनको
continued
बस
to
डर है ना
grow,
कि
and
आपका
protests
फेस
against
तो
the Hydro
कनेक्टेड है मेरे
Archon
पास
started to break out.
थोड़ा इन्हें उन्हें
So
हो जाएगा
people
तो
have
तकलीफ
started
हो
to put
जाएगा
the blame on Farina.
हाँ
Guess they finally
जो
found
भी
an
ऐड
outlet
उसको
for the
देगा
pressure they've been
वो
under due
तुम
to the
अपने लैपटॉप
prophecy.
और मोबाइल दो, जहाँ भी मेरा फेसबुक फॉलो
agree.
कर रखा है वहां से हटा देगा
People
तभी।
naturally rely
हम
on
उनको ना
gods,
अपने
as is
नंबर से कुछ
customary.
लिंक करने देंगे ना
But the
अपना
moment
आईडी
people feel threatened, gods are also the first to be blamed.
So
भाई
what
कोई आईडी
happened
के
after
पीछे
that? Is
उसको जो है ना,
Farina okay?
आईडी वोडी है नहीं अभी पास में,
Seeing that the situation
उसको
was
आईडी
spiraling
चाहिए।
out of control and that further argument was pointless, she claimed that she'd gotten tired of this and left in a hurry. The Marechaussee Phantom had their hands full maintaining order and did not catch where Lady Farina had gone. Only when things had stabilized did we realize that she had gone missing.
भाई
So,
कुछ अच्छा
you
दिखाया
mean
है
she's
टनल
still
वाला ना
missing?
सेक्टर
गटर वो भी।
That's right.
Good.
The Marechaussee has dispatched many people to search for her, but we
Good
don't
lead.
have
Okay.
any leads yet. That said, I don't think there's much to worry about. She
Don't
is a
think so,
god
Chirag.
after all. Good.
क्या क्या?
Monsieur Nervillet sent me to tell you about the situation,
तीसरा डोरा को
but
देखे
he
ना
didn't say anything else.
Don't
तीसरा
worry,
करके
this is
किसी
more
को
than
याद
enough
आएगा
to go on. Thanks for keeping us informed.
Is that so? Well, all right then.
दिखाई
In
तो
that
नहीं
नहीं
case,
देख पाया।
you two take
Live
care. I'll be heading back to the palais now.
Arriving tomorrow by 10 p.m.
Well, sounds like we should hurry over to Poisson then.
ओह आ जाएगा बोरे बोरे रात के कखनू तो आ ही जाए
और सुबह सुबह
If we know
10-12 बजे के
Farina,
बाद
she
आए
won't
तभी
try
कोई
to
बात।
fix things in this situation.
क्या है उसका पहले
Instead,
कहा है
she'll look for a place to
कॉलेज से
wait out
कैसे
the heat.
रिसीव करेंगे बे?
And as we also know, she may be loud and dramatic, but she doesn't have a heart of stone. When Nervalet was talking to her in the Palais Mermonia, and she heard about Poisson, she couldn't hide her sadness and remorse. It would be hard for her to ignore being accused by the public today. Mama
नाइस
thinks Farina's probably taken the opportunity to slip away to Poisson and try to relieve the sense of guilt that she's feeling. Well, what do you think? Paimon knows the answer, of course, but Paimon can do the analysis to back it up, too.
दैट्स
Cool,
बुलशिट
huh?
पाइमन
है?
दैट्स बुलशिट
Yes.
In that case, there's not a moment to lose. Poisson, here we come!
इसके ऊपर डिटेक्टिव वाले नोवेल का असर हुआ।
सो हियर वी कम
क्वेस्ट कंप्लीटेड। क्या एक्ट 5 कंप्लीट हो गया?
एक्ट 5 अभी oh that is Anand must be it has to be
हेलो
yeah it's that motherfucker
बाप रे बाप, ये जब हेलो बोला ना तो इसका आवाज कम करने दो।
जी फट गई जी अभी हुई हम सबसे पहले इसका आवाज कम किया
आज मजा आया
क्या क्या क्या
क्या
क्या बोल रहे हो
आज मजा आया
हाँ मजा तो आया भाई।
तुम दिया
तुम ग्रुप चैट देखा शिवम?
व्हाट द हेल कहाँ का ग्रुप व्हाट्सएप
इंस्टा ग्रुप भाई।
भाई कॉपी पेस्ट पे आ गया बहन का लाड़ा पूरा एकदम
अरे अरे आराम
खिंच
से
गया।
आराम से, वी आर ऑन लाइव स्ट्रीम।
This place
Take
looks
it easy.
deserted. Guess all the survivors must have
अभी
evacuated
लाइव हो
already.
जाता है
All
लाइव
that's left here are signs of devastation.
अभी अच्छा हुआ बोल दिया
गैंग वाला आर्टिस्ट गैंग
Let's
वाला
try to find her as
हमको
soon
लगा
as
कि तुम्हें
possible.
बहन का लौड़ा पहले सीमित नहीं रहेगा, तुम आगे बढ़ेगा, इसलिए हम बोले।
ओए आरडीएक्स गैंग वाला ना
हाँ हाँ, तुम बहन के लौड़ा पे सीमित रहेगा तो ठीक है, काम चल
It look
जाएगा।
like you said this and some people removed your contact.
That's Farina, right over there. She really
Be
is
quiet
here
for
all
now.
alone.
डिलीट कर दिया क्या है भाई इतना बड़ा हम नहीं पढ़ने वाले मजे
अरे ऊपर का 15-20 चैट पढ़ लो ना, बस उसी में तुमको मजा आने लगेगा।
This is all.
उसके बाद आधा चैट तो कॉपी
What was
पेस्ट किया
meant to
हुआ है
happen did
उसमें।
happen
वही ना
after all.
अरे एक बार
Everyone's dead.
अरे बहुत भयंकर भयंकर है भाई।
I'm so sorry.
अरे एक तो डायलॉग ऐसा मारे ना पर साला कॉपी पेस्ट कर दिया वो
Farina,
कॉपी पेस्ट कर
no point in holding out.
आनंद सारा मीम रीडर
I'm sorry.
ओह स्टॉप इट
What can I even do
कौन रो
other
रहा
than to repeat meaningless
Farina रो
apologies
रही।
over and over?
ओह फक यही पार्ट तो है एकदम मस्त वाला।
क्या मतलब?
देखिए ना
Who's that?
उस जगह the competitive
Don't worry,
identity
Farina,
is
it's
just
just us.
it's just us.
पर भैया वो सब डायलॉग सब अच्छा लगा था।
मजा तो आया। हम लाइव शो देख रहे थे भाई।
Lawn
चलो
traveler from
देखते हैं।
another land.
हम जब देखे कि अब
Why,
आनंद
I
शुरू हो रहा है,
almost thought you
हम
were summoned
कैंटीन
from
गए,
that
फ्रेंच
mob of
फ्राइज
my
लिए, अब
ignorant
बैठ गए।
subjects.
एस कौन है?
Come here
एस
and
कौन है?
beg
एस
for my
एस
forgiveness.
एस
Farina,
पता नहीं।
you
अच्छा
were
एस
crying
वो
just now, weren't you?
मी
The
हॉक।
tear stains on your face are obvious.
ऊपर जाकर जा पड़ा रे तो तेरा
Uh,
टाइम भाई
what do you
12 का
mean,
बोर्ड
tear
शुरू है।
stains?
ये
32
बहुत बात का हो गया, शुरू
I
में जाइए।
remember.
अरे
The
लौड़ा
show at
शुरू
the
कहाँ
Opera
है?
House earlier this morning
कम से
was
कम
शुरू
so
150
होगा
बार
कब?
स्क्रॉल
बंदर
कीजिए आ
I'm
जाएगा।
still trying to
बंदर
process
150 बार
it.
स्क्रॉल
ये
कीजिए आ
बंदर
जाएगा।
Who did that
इमेज
uncivilized rabble think they were?
वो अपना
Disturbing my
फोटो भेज दिया था
enjoyment of the
गलती से।
arts. They even dare to tout their Archon. I must teach
देख
them a
ले लिए
lesson.
खुद एक्चुअली बेचारे के जीन्स कंफ्यूज हो
I can
गया
just
कि
imagine their twisted and frustrated faces once they realize
सबका
that I'm
फोन
nowhere to be found.
नोटिफिकेशन से नाम
Oh,
है मेरा
and I'm
गोल्डी
sure
बहार।
Nivelette and those people from the Maréchaussée Phantom are freaking out right next to them too.
दरा व्हाट दरा मेरा कभी
Of course not.
Hey, there she
काफी
is!
पहला
The
वो
Hydro
बिजनेस
Archon's over there!
दर दर साली
Quick, after her!
अरे 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 मारेगा क्या रे ये सब पकड़ के?
लाइक
Farina,
मार
we're
लाठी, मार
supposed to be
लाठी।
after you.
ये लोग रगड़ दिया जाएगा ना।
इन करके
They're
मतलब
just
लाड़िए
some
सर
rabid
और फिर सो
fans who
डैंग
want to cut the
तो
line
वो दोनों
because
एक
they
बार
haven't been
पर
able to meet me in person,
मुझे
aren't
खाना
they?
भाई जब
That's
खाना
against the
स्क्रॉल करना पड़ा
rules. I can't let them get their way.
लियो क्यों क्या यार अब मैं बुरा नहीं हूँ
Farina
मैंने
just
क्या
ran off.
ये कौन है
Quick, we have to catch up with her.
Who the
हाँ भाई आनंद को देखो ना कितना अच्छा से चैट क्रिएट करता है। एक बार गोल्डी उड़ा एक बार आनंद। बाप रे बाप, लग रहा है ऐसे सही में दो आदमी हैं।
जब एक गिल्ड में सत्य रोहित और उसकी आगे मेरे बेटे को ग्रुप से क्यों
अरे बहुत बात का है वो, कहाँ है वो?
हुआ क्या रोहित के साथ? उसकी कौन सी डील रही उसकी?
This should be the place, right?
क्या बकैती
Hey,
चोदा था
Farina!
तो
There's a good hiding spot over here. Quick, come to Pineapple
बता दो
Farina
आनंद
so they
क्या
can catch up
बकैती
to
किया
you.
था।
अरे बस आप दो चैट पढ़िए रुकिए
अरे
अभी
देखो मेनली मेरा मेरा जब सुलगा कल रात
Fine,
से
fine. I
कल रात
suppose
हम
haste
बैठे
is warranted.
उस पे उस
Lead the
जो
way.
चैट पढ़ना है ना हमको उस पे रिप्लाई करके भेजो, हम पहुंच जाएंगे उस चैट पे डायरेक्ट।
हम कुछ बोल रहे थे, कैन यू हियर?
मार चुके जाओ, हम नहीं पढ़ रहे।
हाँ हाँ बोलिए आप।
हमसे इतना मेहनत नहीं कर जाएगा।
मेनली सुलगा था उसपे मेरा कल रात से। अरे न तुम आया था, ना सैफर आया था, ना आनंद आया था। तो हम अकेले थे, तो हम उसको बुला लिए, विशाल को बुला लिए, रोहित को बुला लिए, और था और कौन था वो बिहारी FF, यू नो। वो लोग फिर से शुरू हो गया ट्रोगन।
Totally thought they had caught me.
तो उसे तो 8-1 से हारने के बाद उसकी अंदर से जल गई। जबकि वही 2-3 राउंड था ट्रोगन चलाया। अगर वो ट्रोगन नहीं चलाता ना फिर भी जीत रहे थे। तो फिर आके हमको बोलता है कि तुम्हें अकल नहीं है क्या, किसको बुला लिए हो? तो हम बोले बहन चुत, पहले तुम ढंग से बात करना सीख लो हमसे।
वही तो मेरे साथ भी हुआ।
हम उसको बोलने वाले थे भाई कि मेरे तरफ से कि सॉरी किया, हम ऐसा बंदा बुला ले, ट्रोगन भर रहा है। लेकिन जहाँ देख रहे हैं ना कि माथा पर चढ़ रहा है, तो हमको सॉरी नहीं उल्टा गड़ियाएंगे।
हमको बोल रहा था
अरे मतलब वहीं से अगर तमीज से बोले तो
तुमको क्या बोला था सीधो?
Well, there's no need to worry too much about that. Nevertheless made some emergency plans, so the evacuation should go a lot smoother this time.
होने में 1 सेकंड नहीं लगा।
हाँ ये तो मार दो ना। अरे छोड़ में जहाँ बकरी करे वो रेल दो।
बोल दिया उस टाइम पे सॉरी गलती।
हम 2 चैट पिन करते हैं, मतलब कि वैसा डॉट लगा के भेजते हैं, वो दोनों बस पढ़िए।
हम नहीं पढ़ने।
अरे पढ़ो यार, मजा आएगा। हम भाई
हाँ यार,
लगता है
मैं वो
एक
बोल
आध
के
घंटा वो
बाहर
शो चला था
I've been
लाइव
investigating
सो
the
मजा से
prophecy
देख
for
रहे थे हम
hundreds
तो
of years.
रोहित की माँ का
I once had informants
अरे
all over
देखिए ना।
Tivat,
हाँ
searching for clues and feeding information back to
देखते हैं।
me.
अरे यार पूरा
I
दिख नहीं रहा
tried
है।
all kinds of ways too
अरे
to hold
दूसरा
back
वाला
the
पहला
sea.
ही वाला पढ़ लीजिए।
Anything to keep
जब
the
ठंड में
coastline
10
from
दिन और ना
advancing.
हो तब
But
ठंडी
all my
और नहीं
efforts
ना
proved to be futile in the end. Really,
भाई हम
the
उस पर क्लिक
truth
किए
has
तो
been
मेरा
clear
चैट
to
लोड
me
होने
for
लगा
a
कितना
very
मैसेज
long
किया है भाई
time.
उसके बाद
We cannot make an enemy of
उस पे
the divine.
उस पे बफर होने
No
लगा बे
matter
उस
what
पे
we do, the will of the heavenly
बहुत
principles
पहले है।
will have its way,
अरे
and the
जोर से पढ़िए
prophecy
थोड़ा
shall be
फील
fulfilled.
लाइक।
जब ठंड में 10 दिन
जब
ना
ठंड में 10
नहाओ
दिन
तब
ना नहाओ
ठंडी
तब
की स्मेल
that is
Give
true
up.
actually.
उसी के जस्ट नीचे चैट देखो उसका
I
4-5
do
गो चैट
love the sound of that phrase.
भजन
कॉपी
कॉपी
It
पेस्ट
means
पेस्ट
finally
क्या
coming
बोल
to
रहा है?
terms with fate, but
अच्छा अच्छा
also
दिखा दिखा
for me to finally be
कॉपी
free.
पेस्ट और देखो
हो गया
औलाद
बस
का
बस
स्पेलिंग भी नहीं आता
बस जल्दी अब क्वेस्ट करिए यार कौन लेट्स
अरे
नॉट
आप
गेट
दूसरा वाला चैट भी पढ़िए। वो थोड़ा डैंक हो
Indeed,
गया।
I've thought about giving up
मजा
so
आया
many
भाई
सालों
times,
पढ़ लो किताब पढ़ो
especially
चैट
after we almost
नहीं
lost Poisson. Fate is really unreasonable, isn't it?
ये रूम बड़ा
ऐसा
It
जोर
has
से
no
पढ़ो यार
heart and
सब।
obeys
हमको ही
no
फील आना
rules.
चाहिए कि गाली
The
अच्छा दिए हैं या
prophecy
नहीं।
has only just
खुद से
started
पढ़
to
लो
come
भाई
true, and so many people have
लाइव
already
प्राइवेट
lost
हो
their
जाएगा अभी क्या
lives. But just now,
तो
it
बोलता
all
मैं हूँ
became
बोल
clear
नहीं
to
बाहर
me. I
रोहित
still don't have the right to come to terms with fate
दरार
on behalf of
जरा
everyone else. As long as the final moment hasn't come,
रोती
it's still not too late. Don't worry.
रोंदू तो है ये लड़की
I will keep hope
भाई
alive
आपके
for
गांड मारा
everyone
जाएगा भाई
until the
गॉड वाला
very
काम किया
end.
जाएगा आपके पास सब होगा ये सब चीज
ठीक है तो अनसेंड कर
Well,
देते हैं, नहीं तो
that's
बेकार का 2
enough
और
for now.
नोटिफिकेशन चल
I
जाएगा।
got the impulse to
शाम से
play the
नोटिफिकेशन जा
stricken
रहा होगा।
maiden, but honestly, considering my rank and station, that wasn't a good fit at all.
ए भाई
Take
प्रहलाद
any of what I just
मैगी
said
बना यार भूख
seriously.
लग गया
How could I possibly let
अरे
Fontaine fall
भाई
to the
तुमको उसमें
whims of
डालने में
trivial
हम पानी भर के
prophecy?
लायक नहीं लाए तुम्हारे लिए बेटी टोड
Come on! Paimon could have sworn you were
What up,
फ्रॉक
actually
है
being honest
बेटी
just
फ्रॉक है
now.
बेटी टोड का है
टोड
चलिए जाते हैं, आप लोग मजा कीजिए, मेरा दोस्त लोग भी आ गया।
ओके
तुम दोस्त लोग के साथ मजा करोगे
हाँ भाई
फिर
मौका दिखा दे मैगी बनाने के लिए तुम चलो अब तुम अपना औकात दिखाओ
Share
मैगी बनाकर
my burden.
देखिए अभी देखिए
That's
just
impossible.
don't miss this
It was
part
fated right from the start that this would be my duty alone.
confide in someone need to share what do you call a witness
Witness. Yes, I've heard that you came to Tivat from beyond the stars, yes. In other words, you never belonged here. And
yeah
if Tivat is, in its entirety, a show on a stage, then you're
And you're
just a
just a
spectator, aren't you? If that's the case...
बताने ही वाली है लेकिन बकैती हो जाएगा यार फक से एकदम
just split it up अच्छा split थूकने के लिए बोल रही
बस चुप्पी लग गया
ओके
रोदी
I...
Ladies and gentlemen, this
गॉड को
concludes
पिंजरा में
my
पकड़ने
opening
का
performance.
तरीका थोड़ा केस
Now,
था
without further ado, we may proceed to the
ये क्या
trial
हुआ
of
बे अभी
our god.
मैजिक ट्रिक
हमको लगा
So,
कोई अच्छा
this
सा
is
वो
what it
हुआ
is.
क्या कहते हैं
Yes, you
कठिन नजर
deserve
आया
praise for the effort you took to raise the dramatic stakes. Do not forget, however, that I am Fosalor, the god of justice,
badminton
the embodiment of justice itself. Does it not strike
लेकिन
you as even the
paperwork
least bit
कर देगी एरिया
absurd to
में
bring the very concept of justice to trial?
May I interpret these words as your refusal to stand trial? In that case, you will have the opportunity to defend your honor
Oh
through a
fuck!
duel.
What?
लड़ो क्लोरेट
You withdraw your
पट गई
blade
इसकी।
against a god?
Yes.
I see. It seems like you have made up your mind.
एक आज तो पीली अरे अरे सबकी गांड फटेगी क्या होगा सरेंडर
What?
Paimon can't believe it.
सब सोचा कि अपना
She
पावर
just
यूज करेगी
surrendered.
लेकिन इतना तगड़ा टेक ओवर करेगी ना पूरा कोर्ट पे
What the heck is going on? Did I just see an Archon surrender to a human?
Yeah.
How utterly humiliating.
Lady Farina, what is the meaning of this?
You are powerless, bitch.
It would seem that there has been a misunderstanding. To be clear, the raising of both hands is not always an indication of surrender.
Looking for excuses again, huh?
I
No,
raised my
confident
hands
है।
just now to indicate my acceptance of the
500
trial.
साल से ये
No
बकैती चल
duel
रहे हैं
shall
तो
be
confidence तो
necessary.
होगा ना।
I will admit that I've been running away for a long time. I'm
यार
sorry,
तो मस्त
everyone. I was unable to protect the people of Poisson. It is my duty to stand trial for my crimes. You are not the only ones to be disappointed in me. I
आप
too
इसके आगे
am
कोई तगड़ा कट सीन नहीं ना
exceedingly
देखे हुए हैं
disappointed in
नहीं
myself.
हम न्यूलेट वाले के बाद कोई कट सीन नहीं देखे।
ठीक
But now,
सही
it is time
बस
for
अगर
the
आज जिस
Hydra
टाइम आने वाला हमको
Archon to
बता
show
दियो
you
भाई।
her courage and
वो जो
resolve.
निबलर उड़ के निकला था उसके पीछे का नहीं ना
Farina,
देखे हैं
will
उड़ के
use
निकला
this
था क्या
trial
मतलब?
to show the world the true
निबलर क्या
meaning
मतलब
of
अरे जो
justice.
निबलर उड़ के
This
निकला
time,
ना फाड़ते हुए एकदम
I will protect
हाँ
you.
ठीक है आपने देखा
Applaud and rejoice.
जो
One of
टार्टैगलिया को
the
शांत
most
किया था वही ना?
outrageous and
बस ठीक है
fantastical
उसके
arts known
उसके
to the
अलावा कुछ नहीं
opera
देखा
epiclese is now
टार्टैगलिया को शांत
unfolding
किया
before
उसके
your
बाद फिर
eyes.
रेजली और
Mark
क्लोरेंट
my
का आया था
words,
प्राइमोडियल वाटर रोकते हुए
this
फिर
shall be
उन्हें
one
न्यूलेट
of
का आया
the
प्राइमोडियल
most
वाटर को वापस से
exhilarating
सील
and
करने के लिए।
brilliant shows
सुनिए
ever
लोड
to grace
हाँ
the stage of Fontaine. The
तो वो
trial
गेम
of the
दिखाया वो
Hydro
नहीं जो आप
Archon,
एक्स्ट्रा यूट्यूब
Thussalor,
सीन नहीं
will
देखे हैं उल्टा
now
पुल्टा कुछ
begin.
अरे वाह
वो क्या दिखा रहा था?
तीनों बनाओगे ना
Oh,
हाँ
now we're making history.
ठीक है
वो तो गया बोल दो करो।
Why does it feel like Farina just
देखिए
took over the whole thing? Like, come on! Didn't she just get forced to stand trial for her crimes? Also, even though she's still acting
Can't be
super
taken over.
dramatic, she is taking this seriously this time, right?
All right then. Who will be my opponent in this trial?
The court
Obviously,
asks the
Traveler,
prosecutor to
Mamma
please
Mia.
take the stand.
है? थैंक यू योर ऑनर।
Oh no.
इल्यूमिन करेगी?
Is that so? Very well. Then please speak, witness of Tivat, my accuser and fated opponent.
ओके। Fated
फटी
opponent.
पड़ी है पहली है फटी पड़ी गूफी लुमी नॉट गूफी फरीना इन लड़कियों के पास बाल कम का है न्यूबलेट के बाद दुनिया भर का बाल का है अच्छा ड्रैगन है ठीक है
और
ऑर्डर
Also, please
हाँ,
allow me
थोड़ी
to
बजाने का
ask
तरीका
a
थोड़ा
final
सा
question
कैजुअल था।
before the trial begins. Just
तीन
how
बार
much
बंद करके
work
लगा
did
गॉड
you
का
do to force me onto this stage?
एट द एंड ऑफ रोज डे घर नहीं ले जा सकती समझा करो। व्हाट द फक?
I can go over the
क्या
tasks
क्या
assigned to the Spina di Rosula,
अच्छा
since they were
नाविया
rather
बोल रही
straightforward
है
and easy.
हमको लगा इल्यूमिन।
Navia, the president of the Spina
तोड़
di
के डाल साले
Rosula.
Most of the people who participated in
तोड़
the
के डाल
disturbance
उसको
this morning were
पूरा
my
छोटा छोटा तोड़ दे
subordinates.
नहीं तो साला वो
They
चम्मच
changed
फूटता
into
नहीं
plain
है।
clothes and came to the opera house as regular audience
अरे
members,
मैगी खा रहे हैं
waiting for
हलवा
the
नहीं
perfect
बड़ा
opportunity
अरे
to incite
उतना भी नहीं लेकिन
insurrection
साला लंबा
against
लंबा
you.
रहता है तो साला
The
खाटला
people's
चम्मच नहीं ना हम
resentment
लोग के
against
पास।
their Archon has
और
been building as more and more of the prophecy is fulfilled. A
बहुत
spark
का
was
क्या
all we
करेगा
needed to turn
Joystick से
smoldering anger into a
हाँ बहन
flame.
चोद।
Moreover, according to our understanding and
ये थोड़ा सा
analysis
लाना
of
इधर।
you, When something like that occurred,
दे
you would
हल्का
likely
कच्चा वो
flee the
इला
scene
टेस्ट करते
and
हैं
head to
भाई
Poisson
हम
by yourself.
कच्चे खाए
So, we arranged for a
हम
second group
मिक्सचर में
to
कच्चा
lie
मैगी
in
मिला के
wait
खाने वाले
there.
आदमी हैं यार
So, you mean the
मेरे
ones
मामा
who
मस्त करके
scoured the
लाए थे
settlement for me were
स्पेशल
also
बिस्किट्स
from
फॉरेन
Vespina?
And their goal was to force you to step into the giant
ये
magic
स्पेशल
box
लग नहीं
so
था
you may personally participate in the greatest magic performance in all of Fontanian
Damn,
history.
this motherfucker tastes good.
That's right. That house was a magic box rather than someone's residence.
As the super ultimate version of the setup that I used when I first performed at the Opera Epicles, the volume of the box was increased by a whole order of magnitude, and the distance it traversed was the entire gap between Poisson and Areneas. Its cargo, of course, was an Archon instead of a human. My thanks, Farina. Without your help, we could never have pulled off such an extraordinary performance.
You're welcome.
Of course, this performance was only made possible with Father's support. The House of the Hearth spent a massive amount of labor in Mora to pull this off. We had to select a location, construct the giant magic box, dig a tunnel, and open up a path through the water. It was a lot of work for all of us.
हाँ आप अभी देख सकते हैं फरीना के पास विजन नहीं है
The earthquake that we felt within the giant magic box was just a normal tremor from the transportation of the whole house?
That's right. It wasn't a sign of another disaster to come.
Sorry about
Then, I can guess Nervilette and Cloran's parts.
Obviously.
You gathered a crowd, prepared a stage, and made sure that the champion duelist would be immediately ready for a fight. Also that as soon as I appeared on the stage, the trial may commence without a hitch. Am I right?
Yes, that is correct.
Well, Clorand, I must commend you for your courage. Only the most outstanding champion duelist in all of Fontaine would accept a duel with an Archon without flinching.
Thank you.
As for you, traveler, I suppose your role was to keep me distracted with conversation once you found me in Poisson.
Yes.
You'd make sure that I didn't notice anything amiss before revealing yourself as my prosecutor once we'd arrived onto the stage.
You guessed wrong. What the hell?
Oh?
Oh. My mission.
That you would
We hope
share
that you'd share your secret with us before the magic box arrived.
Is that so? Then I suppose I must have missed my final chance.
Voice actor को पूरा पैसा मिला है भाई.
It's fine. It matters not.
उसके लिप्स पर इतना फोकस क्यों किया बे?
The stage is already set, so there's no reason to disappoint the audience.
I don't know.
Let's see this trial through to the very end.
है तो भाई.
पड़ी है सबकी.
Ryzen 7 with भाई HP Victus अच्छा.
Madam Prosecutor, please allow me to pass this along. This is a document that Miss Charlotte applied for and received permission to share with you during the trial.
HP Victus का अच्छा एक आया हुआ है लैपटॉप पर. Ryzen 7 7000 सीरीज का 6GB RTX 3050 144 Hz और DDR5 16GB.
करिए क्या देखते?
हाँ अब तो खरीद लिए. इसका भी यही सीन है जो डेल वाला सीन है, सेम सीन है इसका भी.
जो कंपनी रिसर्च किया गेमिंग तो वही अच्छा.
हाँ नहीं फिर ओमेन लोगन एचपी का उसमें आता है गेमिंग वाला.
तो ओमेन सीरीज अलग है सीरीज है वो.
हाँ इसमें नहीं आता लेकिन जैसे लेनोवो में किल आ गया लीजन सीरीज. ओह वो तो प्रीमियम गेमिंग सीरीज है भाई.
वो सब ROG सीरीज ROG की जितना
टक्कर का सीरीज है.
एलियन वेयर भी अच्छा.
लेकिन एलियन वेयर उतना फेमस नहीं है जितना ये ROG और क्या कहते हैं लीजन सीरीज है वो.
The words of someone as I nearly lost my. According to the fortress of Meripit, this is the. I didn't.
करना क्या है? अब फिर यहाँ पहेली बुझाना पड़ेगा।
The prosecution and the
अच्छा
defense
देखिए
are
ना
both in
गिल्ड में
position.
सबका एक
The
रिक्वेस्ट आया होगा,
trial
ले
shall now
लीजिए।
begin.
ओके लेट
Oh,
मी
come
चेक।
on, Nervy lad.
सिमोन तुम्हारा
There's
तुम
no
ये है
need to
उससे
repeat all the unimportant legalese.
ऑफिसर का एक्सेप्ट
Just
कर लो।
fast forward to the part where the prosecution lays out my offenses. As the defendant and the lead actress of this performance, I still
अभी हम
haven't
जाते हैं
even
सोने,
been
2 बजे
informed of
उठना
my
भी है सुबह।
supposed guilt in all of
तो
this.
हम लोग सोने जाएंगे 2
Of
बजे।
course, it is only natural
Good
for
night.
humans to struggle to understand the actions of a
कोई बात नहीं,
god.
तुम गुड
However,
नाइट विश
you
कर देना।
will need more than that to
पर
convict
मेरा
me
वो
of a
आदत हो गया
crime.
है, चाहे हम 1-1:30
That's
बजे
true.
क्यों न सोएं,
But
पर
my
2 बजे
charge
उठ
here is
जाते हैं।
unrelated to your conduct as an Archon. Instead, I would like to charge
अरे,
you
अरे,
as a
अरे।
fraud who's never been the Archon in the first place.
अरे भाई
What was that?
कुछ सीरियस है, कुछ सीरियस है भाई, कुछ सीरियस है, कुछ सीरियस है।
बोले लगी सुनो मैंने कुछ तो सीरियस।
I came here thinking that we were going to try
Reverie
the
बोली
Hydro
मम्मा
Archon
मियाँ।
for forsaking her duty, but did I hear that
अरे
right?
कहाँ है आनंद नहीं है?
She's not our Archon at all?
Charge accepted.
अभी लोड हो रहा।
Lady Farina, do you plead guilty to the charge?
आया आनंद। किसका करे? आनंद किसका करे?
Lady Farina,
इसलिए
I
झांट
plead
तेरी
not
सब
guilty. How can I be guilty? There is
Anand?
no way that I,
Madhve.
Focalor, otherwise known as Farina de
Babe.
Fontaine, a member of the Seven and the
Chal
Regina of all waters, kindreds,
Teri
peoples,
sabko
and
kar deta.
laws of Fontaine,
Wahi sabse अच्छा
could
लगा।
be anything other
कर
than
दी।
your true Archon.
Yeah.
Farina
Even
da
though Lady
Fontaine.
Farina can be rather eccentric, isn't it going too far to doubt her very identity?
Yeah, I've never questioned her identity either. Sure, Lady Farina can be super irresponsible, but what grounds does that prosecutor have to make
क्योंकि इतना
such a
विश्वास
huge
होला कि
claim?
गॉड है ही है। चाहे
I
कैसे
have
बने
cause to believe that common sense will prevail
प्रूव हो
in
गया
this
था कि
case.
गॉड नहीं है फिर भी
Many
इसको
of the
गॉड मानता
members of the audience have known me as the Hydro Archon ever since they were born. There would be no fooling their memory.
सबसे बड़ा पॉइंट यही है कि हम 500
Even
साल
the
जिंदा हैं तो
Oratrice
गॉड ही
has
होंगे।
decided to show me its
बात तो
favor.
सही है।
Are you sure you want to commit to a charge that will never be upheld? If
अब
you
पानी
wish to
गीला मत
drop
रखिए
the
उसको।
case,
नमक
I
डाला?
can promise you as the god of justice that you will
क्या
not
चीज़?
have to face trial for making a false accusation. We will treat everything that's happened as a dramatic
Bye-bye.
spectacle and move on with our lives. What do you say to that?
ब्राइब कर रही है
An
फरीना।
argument with near impossible odds, huh? We have to not only refute Farina's claims, but also overturn the long-held beliefs of the people.
Yep, 500 साल का भरोसा।
Well,
Because it
I tried to give you the chance to surrender. If you must persist, then let me ask. If you believe I'm not the Archon, then what manner of being do you think I am? And if I was
Yeah, it's
not
like-
the Archon, then how
Hey,
did I
Gilmari.
manage to live for over 500 years?
बोल बैठ बोल। गड़बड़ी। न्यूब्लेड बोले यार ये कार्ड चिल्ड। हमको पता है इसको चाइल्ड बोलते हैं लेकिन चिल्ड बोलने में अच्छा लगता है। वाह, ये रिलेशनशिप कैसे होगा नेव के साथ?
First of all,
पता नहीं
you may be a member of
Oh,
another
yeah.
long-lived race.
भाई तो कामे सही हो गया।
Who possess an extended lifespan. And
तो
second of
फिर
all,
नेव का
even
मीटिंग
if
से
that
क्या
wasn't the case, there could be other ways to extend your life.
अच्छा उसे तो न्यूब्लेड 500 साल से वो आर्कॉन नहीं।
Who gave you that idea? Was it the
वो
knave?
वर्ड नहीं।
You'd sink so low as to use a harbinger's words against me.
पहले तू खा ले, पहले तू खा ले।
क्लिक मदरफकर।
मार वो कर वो ज्यादा सब खा लेता है।
लाइव है भाई लाइव है। फैमिली मैटर इधर ना लाए।
A curse.
मार हो जाएगा
I
जहाँ तुम
once
सब
thought
में
it
खा गया।
possible that the aura of an Archon might
लाशें
naturally
भी जाएंगी
a
यार।
curse.
अरे
But in light of
लड़ाई
this
करिए तो
claim,
कैमरा ऑन
लाश
कर
भी
दीजिए।
छा
I
देंगे।
sensed was not your
अरे
divinity.
कैमरा ऑन कर दीजिए लाइव स्ट्रीम
Curse
पे।
after all.
बहुत लाइक सब्सक्राइब
Neville had sensed it too, huh?
कर Instead of Archon, could you just be a cursed human? Yup, see it?
Yeah.
Lady Farina
Is
is
actually
a
human?
human?
Yeah, she is.
It is true
Random
that it's
ass NPC.
extremely difficult to tell humans and gods apart just by looking at them. It's not impossible.
Oh, और एटलीस्ट भी like सही बोला बहन के लोग.
Well,
Balance
don't
हो गया.
start celebrating too
नहीं,
early
balance नहीं
now.
हुआ. झुक गया हम
Even
लोग की
if
तरफ.
I have been carrying a
Yeah,
curse
fucking
like you
bigger.
said, how does that prove that I am merely a human being? Besides, everyone knows that the main
Oh.
difference between a
That's
human and a god is the
B-roll.
possession of authority. Gods can do what humans cannot.
That's
That's why they're
side-eye.
worshipped as gods. For centuries, manifestations of my authority have served the nation of Fontaine. One need only to turn their eyes towards the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal in this very opera house, or consider the endemnitium that is used in every aspect of life.
De-analyze बोली.
Whatever it is.
Wait, that one.
Actually, no
Put
control
that
over
on
the
that
Oratrice
for
at all.
Hey, chill.
Believed Childe to be innocent, that judged him as guilty in the end, and even I did not know why.
आप
यही सही
चिल्डे
था.
का है बोले.
You tried to
हम
reference
चिल्डे
the
बोले?
Oratrice. But weren't you as confused as all the rest of us when the
पता.
Oratrice declared Child to be guilty without any proof? Otherwise,
Child.
you should have come up with a good explanation for that by now.
Didn't I make myself clear at the time? The decisions of the gods are naturally difficult for humans to comprehend. There
Like the
is no
child में
need
चिल्डे
to
है.
provide an explanation.
अरे भाई हमने
Lady
स्क्रीन का बंद
Farina,
कर दी.
I believe a reminder of your current circumstances is in order. While the court is in session, the principles of justice and the law must come before all else. While you are an Archon, you are also first and foremost the defendant in this trial. You will prove
क्या जी
yourself
बोला?
unable to defend against the prosecution's charges if you continue to withhold vital information
हाँ
against the
भाई,
rules
जो
of the
गांड
court.
लहर जाएगा.
I never thought you'd use that kind of rhetoric against me.
That was no trick of rhetoric, Lady Farina. I've merely reiterated the rules of the court. Rules that
कुर्सी पर से
all
उठ
should
गया
respect
नेवलेट.
and follow.
समझ रहे हैं कितना बड़ा है.
So, you neither knew why Child was
हम लोग
declared
के पास तो
guilty,
कुर्सी है
nor
ही नहीं.
did you understand the structure and operations of
उसका
the
बूबा में
Oratrice.
उसका हाथ काहे घुस रहा है?
Instead of having been
Oh.
created by you, the
Why do you string her
manifestations of
boobs?
authority you mentioned have been made by the real Hydro Archon, haven't they?
The real
बारी को
Hydro
साले पाएमा.
Archon. Well, now you're really losing me. It is true
इसके बाद
that I
इतना
did not know
confidence,
why
इतना
the
experience
Oratrice
है कि
gave out a
गाँव मार
guilty
नहीं
verdict that day. But the
Did she have a
Oratrice
dick?
handed out that verdict unilaterally. And it has been operating independently ever since it was first created. You can't
अपना लंडा
argue
वाला.
that just because a divine creation is flawed, that the god behind it must also be no god at all.
She's still throwing out all kinds of excuses. Seems like she's confident that we won't be able to produce proof that she has no power over the Oratrice.
भाई इसका तो जिंदगी में
My
इनके में से
power
नहीं पता है
as
ना
an
कि गॉड नहीं
Archon. There are many ordinary citizens in the audience. How can I just carelessly demonstrate the formidable power of an Archon?
आगे मर
If that
जाके तो
poses a
बोला
concern, I'm prepared to extend my protection to the audience.
नेवलेट तो दिखा दिया. नेवलेट तो दिखा दिया. चिल्ले की ले ली गई थी. नेवलेट बैठा था सीधे चली कोट हो गया गधा.
इसके पास तो विजन भी नहीं है.
Archon? Or is it that you
उसके
can't
पास
even
पूरा
wield the
नोटिस
power
का
of Hydro,
नहीं
much
अभी
less
आधा
the
है.
authority of a
उसको पूरा
god?
मिल जाएगा.
Indemnitium! Yes!
अभी नहीं ना.
It's all because of Indemnitium! All Archons derive
इसको
their
फिर
power
एक
from the
मिल
faith
गया.
of the people, and I've
Wow.
converted the people's faith in justice into Indemnitium! Thus did I give up all of my divine power to provide everyone with energy for their daily lives!
नाइडा अपने
Have you
मतलब
ever
सोचा
seen
था
a
शहरों के
more
दवाता देती तो
magnanimous
छोटा हो गई.
god?
Isn't that a huge stretch?
ले
Yeah,
NPCओं
no
को
matter how
रियलाइज
generous
हो
an
गया.
Archon can be, how could they give up all their power? Can a god with no power even still be called a god?
बैकफायर कर गया.
It seems like nobody's buying Farina's excuse.
एनपीसी को भी पता चल गया।
Hey, come now, everyone. Please don't stare at me as if I was a liar. I'm still the same Farina you knew, right?
एक बड़े
The
बैठ
one
गया ना
that you loved.
यहाँ पर बैठ गया
Shouldn't you want to believe in me?
क्या बोला था क्या तकलीफ है यहाँ बैठ जा तू
To believe me.
समझ लावा
If what the prosecutor said is true, she really has committed a grave offense.
Oh my God!
Did she deceive all of us?
यहाँ तो गांड ले
All of our parents and grandparents too? And then all of our ancestors? Ever since they were born?
ले जा ले माथा पकड़।
Enough. Tell me then, if I'm not the real Hydro Archon,
Then who
is?
Fossalor.
If you have no evidence of another Hydro Archon's existence, nor can you find anyone who can back up their claim to be such, then what grounds have you to say that I'm not actually the real deal?
Wow, she came up with yet another argument. How can we refute her now? Seems like she really doesn't want to give up.
कौन अपना गांड मरवाना चाहेगा लिटरली? Finn tried to prove that she can be just a human, and if she
मेरा
is
मैगी में
only
उतना स्वाद
human,
नहीं है
नहीं स्वाद।
अबे यार लिनी वाला नहीं सेलेक्ट करना था मतलब लिनी
That doesn't sound right.
सेकंड वाला लिनी के नीचे वाला
Could be
सेलेक्ट
used
करिए
as
कंफर्म
compelling
काम
evidence
करेगा।
to build our case.
अरे केस बिगड़ जाएगा इनसे हरकत करेगा तो ये मतलब पक्का काम करेगा डैम से। कहेगा फुरीना को हाथ डालो प्राइमोर्डियल वाटर में। भीतर आएगी तो ठीक है नहीं भीतर आएगी तो ठीक है।
खाने में भी अजीब टाइप का लग रहा है।
It has been established that all
क्या क्वालिटी इसीलिए अजू लगता नहीं मंगाता होगा
from the
इससे
primordial sea.
बोला था ना कि अच्छा नहीं लगता है
Since you insist on
क्या है
claiming
भाई
to be
कौन
a
सा मैगी
god
खा
and not
रहे
a
हैं
human,
YY
then
एक्सप्रेस
there's a method that you can use right here and
भोसड़ी के
now
हर
to
चीज को मैगी
eliminate
नहीं
all
बनाना
suspicions of
चाहिए।
you being the latter.
Miss Navia, please apply to serve as a temporary attorney for the prosecution before addressing the court. Though you act in partnership with the
अब फुरीना
prosecutor,
को कह
you
रहा है
must
डाल
still
डाल
adhere to
प्राइमोर्डियल
proper
वाटर में हाथ डाल
procedure.
देखते हैं भीतर आती है कि नहीं भीतर आएगी तो
Super
ठीक है
sorry,
गॉड
Mr.
नहीं
Chief
गॉड
Justice.
है और
I
भीतर
swear
आएगी
this
तो
really
भीतर
will be the
आइएगी
last time that I'll
कहीं
speak
चल
out
गई
of
तो
turn.
फिर
Now,
भीतर आएगी।
I've brought some seawater from Poisson. As everyone knows, a massive flood
चल
struck the
लेके भी
area
आए
not long
यार
ago,
अभी
taking many lives, including those of some of my closest friends. So,
आज मार के
Miss
रहेगी
Farina,
सब मार करेगा सब
would
मिल
you
के उसका
dare to touch some of the seawater? If we are to believe
आगे
that you are
मजा वो
indeed the
सामने
real
पूरा
Hydro
कटोरा
Archon,
बाहर के
touching the seawater would have no effect on you. All it should do is strengthen your case. But if you don't dare to touch it, then we would have basically proved the reverse.
Wow.
Oh, and I must remind you that after the disaster at Poisson, nobody wants to see any more people dissolve. I do hope you'll act prudently and choose the simpler path of admitting guilt.
इतना गांड फाड़ जाता है इसका इतना डरा
Navia
दिया
from
जाता
the
है कि
Spina
ना
di
ना
Rosula.
अगर गॉड रहा करेगा तो
Spina has governed Poisson for many
कौन है
years.
पोसालो?
I guess her suggestion is valid.
If Lady Farina is indeed just a human, she's probably Fontainian like all the rest of us. Would she really dare to try?
Man, why not?
अरे चल दी भाई गुदा तो है इसके अंदर
गांड तो फट रहा है पर कोई बात हमको पता है हर सीन में एक बार 5 प्रीमोजेम दिख
Lady Farina, this test has been unilaterally proposed by the prosecution. As it falls outside the realm
अरे
of
पागल है
standard
क्या आज
court
नॉर्मल वाटर हो
proceedings,
गया जो डराने के
you
लिए सिर्फ बोल
possess the
रहा है
right to
प्राइमोरियल
decline
वाटर
नॉर्मल
participation.
वाटर नहीं है एक्चुअली ये प्रीमोडियल सी वाटर
अरे पागल डिसॉल्व हो जाएगी ना ये
Well, of
तो
course
हाइड्रो
you
आर्कॉन है नहीं
that. But refusing to participate is basically the same as a confession of guilt.
She's just staring at the water without saying a single word. It really does seem like she's quite terrified of it. That could only mean...
What's going on?
क्या
Is
हो
she
गया
really planning to...
ये लोग का प्लान
है तो नहीं
छू
But we
देगी
thought she would...
रुक इसको ऐसे घुमाते हैं
Due to the inherent risk of the
योगा
test,
क्या
Lady
कर
Farina, you may...
हाथ घुसा दी भाई कुछ नहीं हुआ
Hey!
खुद हालत खराब हुआ पड़ा है
I'm fine! Look at me, everyone! My hand is still here! I haven't been dissolved! Will you believe me now? I really am your Archon! I'm nothing like a normal human who would fall apart as soon as they touch this water! Really? Was this not the most obvious thing in the world?
Miss Seedween, if you are present, Miss Seedween, please come forward and attend to the defendant.
Seedween?
What? सीजन यहाँ क्या कर रही है?
Don't be nervous.
ये लोग पूरा
It'll
गान
just
मार के
take a
तैयारी
few
में आया था।
seconds. Let me see. That should be enough.
अरे
Please
सही में जो
announce
तुम
the
मैगी वाला
results
लाया
of
है
your
ना?
evaluation to the court, Miss Seedween.
As everyone doubtlessly saw, Miss Farina was displaying symptoms of hyperventilation and flushed skin. These indicate that she was experiencing the adverse effects of exposure to primordial seawater. The extent to which she was affected is the same as other humans when exposed to primordial seawater of a similar concentration.
Thank you, Miss Seedween. Lady Farina, you may return to the defendant's stand.
Oh wait, what did she just say? I didn't get dissolved! Shouldn't that be enough to prove my innocence?
Well, considering your tendency to run
Concentration
from your
ज़्यादा नहीं था
problems, we did originally prepare a direct sample
इसका
of the
क्या मतलब?
seawater around
कंसंट्रेशन ज़्यादा नहीं है
Poisson.
तो डिसॉल्व नहीं होगा।
However, after extensive discussion, we exchanged it for a sample that is not concentrated enough to dissolve an
जरा सा
actual
प्राइमरी वाटर
human.
का टच मारने पे डिसॉल्व हो
After
जाता
all,
है।
on the off
उसका भी
chance
कोई
that something
अमाउंट है।
entirely
I don't know.
unexpected might
ये तो
occur,
नहीं हुई dissolve।
we don't want anyone else to lose their life to the sea.
Yeah,
Yep.
so out of regard for Farina's life, you secured a low concentration sample and asked the head nurse to serve as an expert witness. It's a great thing that the direct sample wasn't actually used. Farina could have. I can't believe you.
You motherfuckers. God of War रहता तो यही बोल। Unless it actually more important than her. Yes. इसके लाइफ से ज़्यादा important है इसका secret.
Listen to me, everyone. Please don't give me such cold and disdainful looks. What happened just now didn't prove a single thing.
It proved everything.
How can you conclusively prove that an Archon can't also be affected by the primordial seawater?
एकदम give up नहीं कर रही।
If I was really just a human, why would I dare to just put my hand in that kind of water?
अरे रोने लगी।
कौन है बारह?
Please,
अरे 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 रो दी भाई। रोंदू लड़की है तुम।
I really am your
लड़की
Archon.
है।
तो रोएगी। लुमिन तो नहीं रोई अभी तक एक बार भी।
रूमिन का गांड ही ना मार रहे आप लोग मिलके। चारों तरफ से। Literally, ये कोई बात हुआ?
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone. The odds are just too stacked against her now.
With all the things that have
साले
been
कमल मत
said,
गिराना मेरे।
Paimon doesn't think there's any way left for Farina to win.
I believe the time for arguments and presentation of evidence has come to an end. If there are no objections, we will move on to the final judgment.
आने वाला।
क्या कटसीन आएगा?
आने वाला, yes. थोड़ा गांड फाड़ कटसीन है।
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone just too stacked against her.
रखना।
The Hydro Archon is sitting on her throne, crying.
In my capacity as Chief Justice, I shall now render judgment on Farina's misrepresentation of herself as the Archon of Fontaine. As a human who knowingly deceived her fellow citizens, Farina is...
Guilty? नहीं.
Guilty.
नहीं क्या? नहीं. Is it really? Hello?
We shall now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale to render the final verdict on the charges.
This is funny.
करें क्या ये रिकॉर्ड करें?
Yeah, you can do it.
Okay.
According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Farina is...
लंबा नाम है.
What the?
What's wrong? What's the Oratrice's verdict?
No, the Oratrice also displays a guilty verdict.
Isn't that correct then?
However,
it's not for
the
Farina.
exact wording of the verdict is thus. The Hydro Archon, guilty, to be punished via the death sentence.
What?
Yep.
The death sentence?
यहीं से रोना शुरू
One
करता है
of the
सब.
available sentences? I've always thought that it was just a myth.
The one and only time the death sentence has been handed out at the court, and it's been given to the very person we've worshipped as the god of justice? What an unexpected twist.
Farina's been sentenced to death by the Oratrice? We just wanted to use the trial to show her the seriousness of things so she'd tell us the truth. How did things escalate this quickly?
This outcome is indeed quite strange. According to Fontaine's current definitions of justice, as well as its recommendations for criminal sentences, is this sentence really appropriate for the crimes that have been committed?
Yeah, even Vacher wasn't sentenced to death by the Oratrice. You know, the real evil mastermind behind the serial disappearances case.
एक मिनट, क्या ये सही बात है?
Indeed. Not only is Farina's sentence overly excessive, the point of our trial
Hydro
today was
Archon को
also
ना,
to prove
Farina
that
को नहीं
Farina
ना.
has never been the Hydro
Yes, it
Archon
is
in
for
the first
Hydro
place.
Archon, not
But
Farina.
now, the Oratrice seems to have
वो
deliberately
इसलिए
invoked the
वो
title of
फसलोड़
the
मरती है
Hydro
क्या?
Archon. What does
Just
this
watch,
mean?
motherfucker. आप भी कर रहे हैं आर्कन को. Oh fuck, cutscene आने वाला.
Excuse me if I may interrupt.
Oh नहीं, अभी नहीं, थोड़ा देर में. 2-3 मिनट, 5 मिनट.
The trial still going?
Fremine! You
Awkward.
finally made it. I assume this means you've completed your mission?
Mm-hmm. Any mission Father assigns to me will
बहुत
always
बढ़िया,
be
ये
top
बहुत बढ़िया
priority.
है आप.
अब मेरा मैगी को खींचने का आवाज नहीं जाएगा. सुर थोड़ा आकर.
Is that the first prophecy slate?
परमिनेंट खोज लिया पानी में घुस. हमको पहले से पता था कि ये खोज लेगा.
So the knave privately arranged for
It's not a
Fremine to
spoil
try
for
and
you.
find the missing slate.
I looked everywhere and finally found it at the bottom of the sea. It took me a long time to get around some dangerous stretches of water. But has the trial already concluded? Then
इसको पता नहीं है कि
doesn't that mean I've come too late? Oh no. Father will be disappointed in me.
That's what I hear daily. Can you click motherfucker?
अच्छा.
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Fremine. Please allow me to review the record left on the slate. Traveler, I believe that you have already seen the other existing slates, and would like you to come here and confirm their contents.
ये traveler इतना famous कहाँ हो जाती है जहाँ जाती है?
So what do you see? What is it?
This looks like bullshit.
I believe I've now made sense of the Hydro Archon's crime. It has to do with Fontaine's lost history.
Huh? Isn't the Hydro Archon just guilty of deceiving her people? Oh, wait, no, that's Farina, and we've already proven that she's not the Hydro Archon. So when you say Hydro Archon, do you mean the real Hydro Archon we've been kind of talking about?
Yes.
In truth, everything that you've encountered in Fontaine up until this point can be traced back to the contents of these stone slates. However, I'm uncertain as to how much sense they currently make to you.
Okay, let's try to recall the contents of the other 3 stone slates. Paimon will do her best to help you remember.
Nah, not this motherfucker. Click, man, click, click.
The first stone slate describes what you just said. It seems to show the previous Hydro Archon using her divine power, and then the Oceanids turn into humans. Does that mean that Fontainians are transformed Oceanids? Oh, Paimon wasn't expecting that. But if Oceanids can turn into humans, then perhaps this process can be reversed as well.
उससे तो प्राइमरी वाटर में सब डिसॉल्व होकर ओशियन बन जाता है।
Floating in the sky, and the Hydro Archon and her people worshipping it together.
दो बूंद जिंदगी के।
The heavens still brought judgment down
क्या मतलब जिंदगी चढ़ जाता?
Whatever it is.
Click, motherfucker, click, click.
This must be the point when the Hydro Archon and the Fontainians were branded with their original sin.
Yep.
Does this mean that the original sin and the Hydro Archon sin are the same thing?
Click, motherfucker, click. I have to tell you to click.
The third slate
Give me
shows
any
the
dex
Hydro
access.
Archon
I will play.
sinking into the sea surrounded by many people.
Okay, surrounded by many people.
Can you click?
That reminds Paimon, didn't we also watch that happen to someone else?
Navia. Probably.
Well, the first slate is the prophecy the Fontainians have been talking about. People dissolving into the sea, the Hydro Archon crying on her throne, and so on.
It's a Furina बैठा ले अभी.
कुछ अभी का सीन से मैच नहीं कर रहा है
believe
ये।
that such a crazy disaster could happen at first, did we?
Just
But
listen.
after that incident, it was just a question of when and not if.
ये तो ट्रूथ है ये. ये ट्रूथ है. सीरियल डिसअपीयरेंस एक्ट पे लगाइए इसको. सीरियल भाई इसका रिलेशनशिप कहाँ है? सीरियल डिसअपीयरेंस एक्ट बस से ट्रेजेडी तो होता है.
We know from the case of the ends the first stone. This
वशई ना तरता लिया तो ना हो सका भी ना. No, nope.
Sound quite.
You dumb fuck भाई यहाँ पे नाविया का क्या होगा? नाविया का उसके बाद वाले में रोल.
Perhaps what is about to take place has all happened before. The true
Third
sin
वाले
of
में
the
नाविया
Hydro
है.
Archon that Nervilette mentioned, and the original sin cast down on the people of Fontaine by Celestia, as recorded on the stone slates.
इसमें नाविया होगा. अगले वाले में
नाविया होगा नहीं, नाविया होगी.
नाविया होगा.
It's not as simple as when Navia found the stone.
अब इसमें क्या हो सकता है? Obviously यही होना
Prophecy
चाहिए.
from the stone slates found its way into society, but not many people believed it at first. The fortress of Meropide was nearly flooded with primordial seawater, which we know can cause Fontainians to dissolve. It seems increasingly likely that the prophecy may come true. If we hadn't dealt with it in time, things could have gone very badly.
They'll dissolve into the primordial sea but won't cease to exist. Their essence will flow in the seawater, converge, and take the form of an oceanid.
अरे देना यहीं पे हम लोग चले आते. अरांदे नहीं यहीं पर हम कर देते. हम कर रहे हैं. रुक ना 2 मिनट में जा रहे
The
हैं.
Hydro Archon was sentenced to death in court, shocking everyone present. Perhaps this means that her sin was actually Fontaine's original sin. Navia fell into the water inside those ruins, and she nearly dissolved. She was surrounded by the people of Poisson in a court within her consciousness, and was forced to take part in a trial meant to make her stay. The eruption of the primordial sea at the fortress of Meripede was the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to pass no matter what. The stone slate's contents can all be verified by recent events. If we combine what we know together, loads of truths should come to light.
चलो ओटीपी मिल गया, वेरिफिकेशन हो गया। अब क्या करना?
डेथ सेंटेंस होगा। ओटीपी मिल गया ना?
हाँ।
ये भी नहीं मिल पाएगा अपना पावर।
So that's how you can make sense of it. But then it feels like we're going to have to share some truly shocking revelations.
Let's hear them.
अपना गेम ऑन करो।
अपना?
हाँ।
Incredible.
Linny,
did you hear
गेम
that?
थोड़ा सा जाएंगे 2 मिनट के लिए, तो तुम्हारा डिस्कॉर्ड पर स्क्रीन दिखा के हम चले जाएंगे, तुम कुछ करते रहना।
Fontanians were originally created by the late previous Hydro Archon, with Oceanids as their basis. The evidence for that can be found in how only Fontanians could dissolve in
हाँ तो और क्या, अपने आईडी तुम डिस्कॉर्ड पर स्क्रीन करो अपना।
were also turned into Oceanids. Oh, and according to Navia, when she was about to get dissolved, she also saw everyone gathered around for a trial, all of them in the shape of Oceanids.
Indeed.
स्क्रीन खत्म होगा तब तो।
Yeah, and it follows from the content of the first slate that she probably angered Celestia by creating humans without prior permission.
Doria.
That could also explain why the Oratries judged the Hydro Archon to be guilty. It's to account for that ancient sin.
The Hydro Archon's true sin was creating us?
And yet, after many hundreds of years, the Hydro Archon's creations have turned around to try to judge the Archon within the Opera Epiclese. The twists of history are often the most unexpected of all.
Okay.
Yeah, isn't the image here just like when Navia fell into the sea?
Yes, सब लोग उसको घेर लिया था।
So wouldn't it be trying to show the image of the Hydro Archon also falling into the sea once the prophecy has been fulfilled in the fourth slate? In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away. Did Paimon get all that right?
Yes.
No.
You've made some keen deductions. I must say, given how much you still don't know, it is impressive that you've already managed to connect so many pieces of the truth. However, while you were able to decode all the information on the slates, they've also been etched with an additional layer of hidden information using a different power source. When we were at the ruins, I tried to decipher the hidden information recorded in the slates, but since we only had 3 slates at the time, I was unable to come to a full conclusion. Now that the slate collection is complete, I shall make another attempt to decipher the narrative recorded within. If everything goes well, we should finally be informed of the unadulterated truth.
If you want, you can pause it now. Otherwise, you're fucked.
क्या मतलब?
फिर आधा घंटा तक वो रोक नहीं पाइएगा आप, कटसीन टाइप का एकदम।
अच्छा, तो रुको, हम पानी भर के आ ही जाते हैं, तुम अपना स्क्रीन शेयर ऑन कर दो।
कब के हम चलते हैं उसको क्या जाम में कीड़ा मारने।
ओके, चलो तुम्हारा ऑन हो गया।
I know I can see myself. My AK Raiden.
Okay. मारो तो लगा रहे हैं हम.
Illusion shattered.
This realm is... If you ever have...
Hello. Okay, now I'm back. Now I will hide this thing. Display capture off करो. Genshin on करो. Display off करो. और Genshin.
बुलेट तो लाल का है बोले.
Saturation थोड़ा increase किए थे ना.
Did you get it?
I believe I should share this truth not only with you, but with all the people of Fontaine as well.
I'm sorry, bitch.
Archon were both correct. In the Fontaine of old, the previous Hydro Archon sensed the yearning of her Oceanid familiars for life on land.
अच्छा इसका मतलब पहले ये सब का सब ओशियनिड ही था.
Of human beings, and wishing to have those experiences
और
for
उन लोग को
themselves,
लगा कि
expressed to
अब
the
हम
Hydro
लोग ह्यूमन
Archon their
बीइंग हम
desire
लोग को
to become
बनना
of a
चाहिए,
similar kind.
तो लोग रिक्वेस्ट किया फोर्सल लॉर्ड से और
Even
फोर्सल
though
लॉर्ड
water
सबको
as an
ह्यूमन बना
element is
दी.
intricately linked with
फोर्सल
the
लॉर्ड
power
ने
of
ही
life,
जी रिया
the Hydro Archon, as one
अच्छा
of the seven,
व्हाटएवर,
did not
वो सबको
possess the
ह्यूमन बना
authority
दी.
to create a new form of human life. Not one to
और
give
वही
in,
है ये लोग
she
का
eventually
सीन,
found a way
ये
to
लोग
create
अपने
permanent
ओरिजिनलिटी को
humanoid
छोड़कर
bodies for her
एक फेक
familiars
लाइफ
by
जीने लगा, यही ना?
appropriating the power of this planet's primordial sea. She poured primordial seawater into the Oceanid's blood vessels, creating humanoid mimics in the process. But if Fontainians were to ever come into direct contact with water from the primordial sea, the power within their bodies would escape these artificial restraints and return to the sea. As a result, their forms would collapse, and they would be reverted to their original forms as Oceanids. Of course, the Hydro Archon never received permission from the heavenly principles to create a new human race. And thus, the Hydro Archon and all of her creations came to shoulder the original sin of appropriating the power of the primordial sea. That is the true history of how the people of Fontaine first came into being.
So you...
we
were all Oceanids before we turned into human beings?
अरे तुम नहीं, तुम्हारा बाप दादा.
That's way too much information for me. I think I'm just going to pretend that I never heard a single thing. Wait, but if that's the truth, we can't let the Hydro Archon be sentenced to death. After all, her only sin was creating us.
This really might be too much information for your regular Fontainian, but it does answer a lot of our questions.
Alas, your hypothesis regarding the third and fourth stone slates was inaccurate. The slates' respective positions are, in fact, correct. A key point of the visual on the third slate is how all the individuals depicted in the water are humans rather than Oceanids. They have not been dissolved, which implies that the water depicted in this slate is not water from the primordial sea. The nation of Fontaine is the nation of Hydro, as well as the nation of trials and justice. Instead of being the literal element, the water in the scene symbolizes judgment and justice. You may also recall Navia's experience. When she fell into the sea, her consciousness was surrounded by that of many others who intended to hold a trial to determine her fate. Therefore, the meaning of the third slate is that the people of Fontaine shall try the Hydro Archon at the court of justice. Yes, it refers to our present situation.
अरे भाई घूम फिर के सब prophecy से related, मतलब prophecy पे ही आ गया.
What you're saying is, even though we decided to put on this trial to avoid fulfilling the prophecy, in truth, everything we've done has happened exactly as the prophecy foretold. So now, it seems, we're the ones making sure it comes true.
Dumb fucks.
What should we do?
We should run away from Fontaine, you motherfuckers. What are you supposed to do? Let's depart to leave. ऐसे उधर festival चल रहा.
No matter what, the prophecy will be fulfilled. Is this what it feels like to be a prisoner of fate?
If that's the case, does that mean the scene in the fourth slate will also be fulfilled soon?
However, I would like to point out another small fallacy in your deductions. About the fourth slate, you probably thought that the eruption of primordial seawater beneath the fortress of Meripede served as the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to pass, yes? However, I believe that rather than being a sure sign, that eruption could in fact only be a small warning of something far worse to come. As for the root cause of the catastrophe, I believe you've already encountered it once before.
Oh fuck, cutscene. Literally, ये वाला जो prove कर रहा है ना, इसके बीच में cutscene आएगा. Ready
We
रहेगा.
must find the root cause of the disaster.
Okay.
ये सब सही है. Third और fourth में गलती है. अबे लोडू थर्ड और फोर्थ में गलती है, खाली कुछ भी डाल दे रहे हैं बहन.
अच्छा ये सब सही है.
दोनों सही है. उसमें तो नारा होगा।
It was both dream and reality.
Reality.
अरे
फुल हो गया।
If we're talking about a true culprit, that could only be that thing inside the primordial sea, right?
ओ अब लगता है शायद वो वाला सीन आने वाला है, वेल वाला।
The truth, the original sin, the trial, and the root cause of the disaster.
अब मेरा नारा वेल अनलॉक हो जाएगा।
Okay,
now it's going.
Oh fuck.
Whoa. Turn off your mic, bitch. अरे भाई What the fuck? क्या वो न्यूलेट के पावर को सरपास कर गया? अब ये कौन है बे? टैग लिया?
भाई बंदा इतना देर से फाइट कर रहा है, इसमें आग लग गया, टैग लिया, लिटरल आग लग गई।
ओ I have a question for you. और खत्म होने दो इसको।
Thumbs down.
Is it over?
यार
That was way too close.
भाई क्या था ये बे?
अभी तो आप कुछ देखे ही नहीं है, अभी तो कुछ देखे ही नहीं है, तो छोटा सा बच्चा।
वो चाइल्ड कहाँ से आया बे?
वही गया था, वो गिल्टी मत है, वो गिल्टी था नहीं, उसको जबरदस्ती गिल्टी प्रूव किया गया और ताकि वो वेल जो है ना उसको रोक के रख सके थोड़ा देर के लिए, ताकि लोगों को टाइम मिल सके अपने काम करने के लिए।
Weeping all the while.
अच्छा।
It has been greedily consuming the energy from the planet's primordial sea, using it to grow. That is the main cause for the rising sea levels. And once it has finished consuming all of the energy contained within the sea, its next step will be...
You said that when the Hydro Archon first created Fontanians out of her seeds, she filled their blood vessels with primordial seawater.
Precisely. That whale finds the blood of Fontanians nigh impossible to resist.
Oh.
Therefore, when it left the primordial sea, it decided to make its next stop a packed opera house full of food. Food in the form of Fontanians.
We just barely managed to push it back, right? In that case, won't it come back to target the people again once it's managed to recover its strength?
That is correct. Indeed, it is more accurate to say that we should thank that Harbinger for buying us some time. Without him, the whale would have likely come onto land far sooner. From the way he looked, he must have been fighting the creature for quite a long time.
He must. Literally,
Maniac. We've always known that he had a special connection with that whale, but we definitely didn't expect it to help us out like this. Anyway, now that we know that this whale is the actual cause of the disaster recorded in the prophecy, all we need to do to stop the prophecy would be to find a way to beat it up, right?
It had already absorbed too much of the primordial sea's energy before we could notice it. At this point, it has become practically integrated with the sea itself. Even if the entirety of Tevat were to be destroyed, it could still survive and swim off towards some other world.
That's not something I will accept. We've already done everything we can, and we even found the true culprit. We've come so far. You can't just tell me that the last hurdle is some impossible foe. That's just not fair.
Indeed, that's not how a grand performance should end.
I'll fight it to the end, no matter what.
So the prophecy will be fulfilled no matter what, huh?
The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesied will be fulfilled. You may view such things as the history of the future. Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, could things be happening in hidden corners where the gods' gaze does not fall? Ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what will happen in Tevat's future. All you need to do is to play your part.
अब उसका बाप को याद आया.
Did I miss something?
Yeah, Aether.
I forgot our Furina. What was it that he wanted to tell me at the last moment? What is the real secret? Furina है कहाँ? निकल गया fail. Oh no.
Cutscene.
Maybe.
What's happening?
What's happening with the oratories?
I believe it is preparing to carry out the death sentence.
अरे बेचारी हमको उसका दया नहीं लगा यार फरीना पे. उसके साथ ये नहीं होना चाहिए. इसका अंजाम ये नहीं हो सकता यार. और नहीं यार नहीं फरीना के साथ ऐसा नहीं. बहुत गलत हो रहा है फरीना के साथ.
अभी तो देखे नहीं हो जाएगा हम लोग. Look at this. That's slow. Gentlemen.
नहीं फरीना के साथ ये नहीं होना चाहिए यार. ये अभी कटसीन है. फसलोर फरीना के जैसे ही दिखती है यार.
वही है ये. Same almost. Furina.
Sorry. That shocked expression on your face is just too amusing. I couldn't help myself.
You are not Furina.
बता सकते हैं कि जो फरीना का वॉइस एक्टर है वही फसलोर की
The
वॉइस
sweet
एक्टर है.
sound of bewilderment.
ये फरीना ही है ना बे.
My attempt to deceive everyone
बस लंबी है थोड़ी सी है.
नहीं भाई.
But to answer your question, I am
फरीना और ये दोनों almost same ही है ना.
the
मतलब almost.
god.
Just listen, motherfucker.
Why did you deceive us?
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. Goodness, no. But I had to fool everyone else too, if I was to stand any chance of deceiving the heavenly principles.
Deceiving the heavenly principles?
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. Fontaine condemned
Why
to
is
be
she
flooded.
flat?
One was not amused. In fact, one was positively bemused when that problem was thrust upon me by my dearest
And why is she not wearing
That's the former Hydra
full
Archon
clothes?
Egeria for the
यार
uninitiated.
रणदीर होना हो रहा है.
It hardly gets more
Why is
disastrous
she
than a
flat?
preordained national
Actually, she's
catastrophe.
not wearing some
Now
clothes.
does it? She
वही
knew
तो
full well that the
इसके आगे
prophecy
इतना
would
खुला
surely
खुला
come
एरिया
to
क्यों है?
pass.
क्लीवेज क्यों दिख रहा है इसमें?
And as one of the seven, she also
हाँ, ये
knew
नहीं.
full well that one defies the heavenly
Hey, you were just
principles
focus.
at one's peril.
Just
So
focus,
yes,
motherfucker.
as you have no doubt
कठड़क बढ़
surmised,
जाएगा इसे.
it was a
अबे
rather impossible situation that I found myself in.
just
I spent a
don't
terribly
fuck
long
up the
time
situation.
mulling it over, alone on the ocean floor. And I was almost growing barnacles by the
Yeah,
time I
she's flat.
finally realized there was only one possible solution to this confounding
निवलेट
conundrum.
देखने के लिए बेचैन हो
I
जाना.
had to outwit the heavenly principles, allow the prophecy to be fulfilled, ostensibly at least, while saving everyone at the same time. I'm a genius, I know. I can only assume that's why Egeria chose me as her successor. Although, looking back now, it was hardly the inheritance one dreams of. Between the task of saving the nation, the quotidian duties of the Hydro Archon, and not to mention the original sin of creating a new race of humans, I dare say she left me quite a colossal mess to clean up. But one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I chose to be one of her Oceanid familiars.
So you were also once one of the Oceanids, transformed into a human by Egeria's hand?
Yes, I was.
Flat Oceanid.
I always dreamed of becoming
Hey,
human.
yo, just don't do that.
And I still do, even now.
Piece of shit.
In my eyes, to be human is to be part of the greatest opera ever known. After becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as naive and bewildered as my past self on her first day as a human being. The me you see before you now is that divinity. And the human counterpart I left behind,
मतलब फुरीना फोसलोर का ही एक पार्ट है.
sorrow, and everything in between. She could be as vain and conceited, or as meek and vulnerable as she wished. Her strengths were of a kind only a human could possess, as were her shortcomings. But in my eyes, Farina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human in every way. The person I always wanted to be. Anyway, so then I cursed her. All part of the plan, of course. The plan to deceive the heavenly principles. Do you still remember the final scene of the prophecy? The Hydra Archon alone, weeping on her throne. In order that the prophecy might appear fulfilled, I invited Farina to be an actress, to play the part of the Hydro Archon in the prophecy. Under the curse I placed on her, so long as I, Fosalor's divinity, continued to exist, she could not die. But nor was she free to live her life in the pursuit of happiness. Instead, she was forced to take the stage in the opera house, to embrace the role of leading lady, to forever play the part of the god from the prophecy, all to create a deceitful appearance of that prophecy coming to pass. I suppose now you probably understand why your court is called the Opera Epiclese.
But Farina is only human, isn't she? Even though she has had a long life, her mind is no stronger than that of any other ordinary human being. I cannot begin to fathom what she has had to endure. It must have been torture for her.
It has indeed. And although she is, in a sense, me in human form, I most definitely owe her an apology for it. It's been 500 years, and all along, she's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely, and agonizingly painful opera of all time.
कठिन है क्या?
अभी थोड़ा इंतजार करिए कटसीन के लिए.
रीना ऐसे क्यों बैठी हुई है यार?
रीना लेके जाइए ना। वाइट वाला फॉर्म, हीलर मोड। भाई कहीं पता चला बाल बच्चा छोड़े वो बैठल फुरीना ओकरा मारे चल गए।
Now guys, it's going to be Furina versus that motherfucking Furina. Let's fuck that bitch. I will take out my booba and fuck her. Oh sorry, gooba.
आग लगाते हैं, लकड़ी का है सब कुछ।
Oh, who permitted you to come onto the stage? Now, I understand your admiration for my august self, but I must ask you to keep to the rules. All right. It is not my intent to reprimand you. There is no need to state your name. Just be off with you. Do not distract me from my performance. Oh, do not jest. Can you not feel it? I am Focalor. The eyes of countless Fontainians are upon me. I must at all times display the utmost elegance and nobility.
भाई लिटरली इसका इनर में, इसका मेमोरीज में भी इसके देख नहीं पा रही है रियल ट्रूथ। इतना ज्यादा डायहार्ड है कि नहीं बताएंगे तो नहीं जाए जो हो जाए।
Dear audience, the performance is experiencing a technical difficulty, but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon enough. Hey there!
मारा है भैया।
मारा तो है भाई। I agree.
What gives? The audience is still watching me, you know. Guards? Wait, where are the guards? Guards! Fuse is lit! Where'd that come from?
Alright, no scope 360.
अच्छा इसको वहां बैठना।
That is not your Furina. That is the Furina.
यहाँ पे करना क्या है हमको?
मिरर के पास जाना है गांडू।
अच्छा उस मिरर। भाई दौड़ क्यों नहीं रही है?
है कि दौड़ नहीं सकता।
What the fuck? क्या इसके पास टांगे नहीं है? हमें तो ये देख रही हैं।
भाई वो सेलिब्रिटी है, दौड़ेगी तो अच्छा नहीं लगेगा ना।
फराक उड़ जाएगा।
पता है।
Furina.
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 Who's that?
इतना अच्छा आवाज।
Who's calling me?
Where are you?
Be not nervous.
Don't do that, motherfucker.
Be not afraid.
Hello, fossilers.
Wait a moment.
Why you both are flat?
Near me? How can this be?
Why you are not wearing a?
You know what? That's not bad. Let's go with that.
Near me. What do you wish to say?
The prophecy. Have you heard of it?
हाँ है ये नहीं तो क्या पहनेगी यार? Flat chest.
Wait.
Sorry, breast.
I know. I think. I don't know why, but it's in my head somehow. The people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Oh, very good. You know it well.
What's going on? I can't seem to remember anything clearly. The only thing I know for sure is this prophecy. Will it really come to pass?
Yes, it will. And that is why I've come to you. Disaster will come to Fontaine sooner or later. Things will develop just as the prophecy declared. There is no escaping it.
But doesn't that mean everyone will die? I'm a Fontainian just like them. Will I dissolve too?
Oh, don't worry. Magical meeting.
What?
जस्ट ऑन चेक हमको थोड़ा सा स्टैट्स देखना क्या कि हमको फील हो रहा है कि टेम्परेचर काफी ज्यादा
You may have to suffer somewhat.
GPU 72 degrees.
So there's still hope after all. Goodness, you frightened me. You spoke so much and with so much certainty.
कट करिएगा.
One to suffer. But if the prophecy will come true,
I will also die anyway.
I'll also die
Right,
anyway,
right? If I have already met you
So
in magical
if I've
meetings
already
in
met
this
you as
world.
my magical meeting in this world, if there were scales, with all the people of Fontaine on one side and my pain on the other, is it not obvious where the scales should tilt?
क्या अच्छी लड़की है यार फुरीना हमको लगा घमंडी लड़की है
The perfect human. My ideal.
बहुत अच्छी
I
लड़की है यार
suppose this would also be the
लोगों के बारे में
justice
कितना
that
सोचती
belongs
है
to you.
शुरू से बोल रहे थे
Don't
आपको नहीं
worry,
लग रहा
it's
था ना.
nothing.
हाँ
Listen well.
तुम बेटी चौथ बहुत मिसलीडिंग
Fontaine
आदमी
has
है
just lost its Hydro Archon.
हम तो बोल रहे थे कि
I
बहुत
need
अच्छी
you
लड़की.
to play a role. That of the new Archon.
सही में फोसर तुम्हें नाम लिया.
A god?
That's right. You must begin a never-ending masquerade. You must never let anyone suspect your identity. If you can keep it up, then I shall have my way of defying this prophecy. But should your identity be revealed, then all hope will be lost.
इधर तो इतना ट्राई हार्ड कर रही थी कि
this?
आइडेंटिटी पता न
A
चला.
human assuming the role of a god without being exposed.
Don't worry. What you must do is
बेचारी
not to turn yourself into a real god. You simply
पता
need to
नहीं
play
ये
the
सब लाइन
role
सुन
of
के
a
मेरा
god
बॉस
as
क्यों चिल
humans
हुआ जा रहा है
imagine them to be.
Mother.
Being a human yourself, I'm sure you already know what such an entity would be
नहीं
like.
हम हंसाने के लिए नहीं बोल रहे थे लिटरली
Your
मेरा
true
बॉस चिल हो रहा है
challenge will not be pursuing divinity,
Balls.
but
ये
contending
परेड सुन के
against
बात कर.
humanity.
नॉट दैट बॉल
I'm still
ओह
not sure
तुम
I
फाइनल फोसेलर के
understand.
बारे में नहीं बोला
I'll
because
try.
they don't have any ball
I'll try to do this. So,
This should not
how
have any
long
balls.
am I going to have to play this role?
They are
on
To
लड़कीज.
accomplish this mission,
लड़कीज
you will have to stay on the stage for many, many years. You will endure and not grow old until your task ends. But I promise you, all will eventually end in a magnificent and dramatic trial, and everyone will be saved.
A trial, huh? How exciting. I'll be looking forward to it.
ओके अच्छा थ्रोन पर जाकर बैठना।
आप अभी एक चीज नोटिस की, जैसे फरीना को गॉड का मतलब पावर नहीं मिल रहा था तो इसका कलर बालूल ब्लैक वाला था, ब्लैक वाला आउटफिट में थी,
या
मतलब
नोटिस।
ब्लू वाला में। और जब इसको डिविनिटी मिला, मतलब वो गॉड का कर्स मिला, तो फोसल और जिसे दिखने लगी व्हाइट कलर में।
हाँ
लेट्स गो, एटलीस्ट नोटिस समथिंग मदरफकर। स्पॉटलाइट।
The Maison Cardinalise has announced my accession, but this is my first time facing the people. What should I
समझ में नहीं
say
आया, लाइक
to
एक
most
रैंडम
appear
आके
like a
बोल रही कि
god?
हम गॉड हैं और सम्मान भी
To be
लिया।
honest, I still don't know.
चूतिया है सब।
Perhaps I should first try to act natural. Ahem! Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to the Opera
This is not Farina.
Epiclese. I'm sure you've all heard about how I have taken on the role of Hydro Archon. Indeed, I am Farina de Fontaine, your new Archon. In truth, I know little about becoming a nation's new god,
स्टेज पे आके बोल रहे हैं
but
कि
it
हम
will be
गॉड,
my
हमें नया
honor
वाली
to
गॉड।
guide you all. As the god Fosalor, the god of justice, I shall do all within my power to lead you into an age of fairness and justice. Once again, thank you all for coming. If you should have any questions or suggestions, please send them to the Maison Cardinalise. The future of Fontaine will require us to work together, after all. This should do it. I thought I might stammer, but thankfully, I was able to convey my thoughts just fine. Okay, and next.
This is the
Hydro
one girl
Archon.
in the
Is this some
school
kind of
who
joke by
always
the Maison?
does
I would
the
have thought that
prayer.
a being that surpasses humanity would be a bit more assertive.
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her suggestions there at the end.
Shouldn't gods be all powerful? She's being so modest. What's the difference between her and an ordinary person then?
If
you ask me, perhaps the succession didn't actually happen. She might just be a maison-backed puppet.
Wait, what's going on? Why is everyone suspecting me of being a fake? Oh, this is bad. If I get exposed here, there'll be no saving the people from the prophecy. Right. Mirmi said that I just need to play the role of a god as humans imagine them to be. Calm down, Farina. Think. What do the people want? How would they imagine a god to speak and act? Assertive, with a strong sense of presence. One who can dispel all doubt. That is the character I'm fated to play. Oh, very good, my people. Only ones such as you are deserving of my rule. Now, I was wondering if some weak puppet were to one day come onto the stage and claim ownership of this opera house, would the children of Fontaine follow them? Well, it seems that you would all see right through them. Having passed my test, you are qualified to witness wondrous trials alongside my august self, here in this opera house. You may consider my previous act a door gift of sorts. I thought it was a debut that suited the atmosphere. Now then, let us be reintroduced.
Ah, so that was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we were inside an opera house?
Personality? It's quite shocking, to be honest, but I suppose it's a better look than before. Such a fascinating and bold deity. How wonderful! Our future may yet be bright after all.
It seems I've turned them around. Best follow this flow and restart my accession speech. My dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to you, keep faith in your ardor for justice. We have heard it said that this nation's sins can no longer be washed away. Well, I say that justice is most fragrant when it blooms amid sin.
Big motherfucker.
The scales of justice should not weigh heavy in the hands of its God. On one side, it must carry fairness and justice. And on the other, praise and applause. May law be the prayer on our lips. May judgment be our worship. Let us light the fires and drink to the future of Fontaine.
Hey, yo, sleepy motherfucker.
There is no trouble in this world that justice cannot solve. All that is needed is for you, my people, to believe in it, heart and soul. So long as I, the Archon Focalor, stand within the Opera Epiclese, so long as I stand before the Oratrice, I shall even judge the gods of this world!
What the did you not listen any of that?
क्या?
समझ गए? Answer मिल गई?
No, नहीं सुना.
Wake up, motherfucker! Wake up!
It's now getting boring.
It is just for 5 minutes more boring. It will not for like forever. Just wake up.
Lady Farina, here are today's case reports as well as a summary of the follow-up for your perusal.
Come now, was I not just at the Opera House in person? Leave these kinds of things to Neuvillette. Besides, none of these trials were the one that I'm looking forward to the most.
If I may be so impertinent, what kind of trial are you truly looking forward to?
A magnificent, dramatic, and wondrous trial. A trial to end all things.
Playing wala button.
How could you hope to understand?
That's true. I fear I lack the ability to grasp your divine thought, Lady Archon.
No need for fright, and do not take what I said before too seriously.
थोड़ा सा boring हो गया यार, अब मजा नहीं आ रहा हमको. इस टाइम कितना अच्छा लग रहा.
बस खत्म होने वाला ये चीज. What the fuck? मतलब boring हो जाएगा तो सूझ जाएगा भाड़ में.
शायद यही होता है ना boring होने पे.
You dumbass.
Lady Farina, I don't know what to say. Thank you for agreeing to see me.
No need to thank me. Or rather, thank your own sense of perseverance instead. Long have you stood in line to meet me, have you not? I'm afraid that's just an inevitable consequence of my divine charm. All right. Deuteria, is it? How is your son's illness?
You remembered
Just
me,
don't slip.
and you knew of my family too.
Just don't.
He is doing much better now. In fact, he is far more of an ardent believer than I. He was the one who forced me to seek an audience with you, and to bring your words back to him.
Oh, good. Very good. If this should happen again in the future, please do not hesitate to come and tell me. Going down to citizens' homes every so often, while not usual practice, should serve as a fine change of pace.
Oh, you're such a gentle and wise God. Thank you once again, on behalf of my son.
थोड़ा सा तो और है. भाई हम भी गए थे इसमें, हम भी किए थे ये चीज.
कोई नहीं आया होगा.
नहीं.
Lady Farina, here are the latest hydrological reports. As for the specific parameters you asked to take note of, Afraid things still don't look good.
I see. It's as I thought then. As your god, I did already expect this, but I wanted to see how far your human wisdom would allow you to analyze it. All manner of signs indicate that the prophecy will still come to pass. Forget it. That's not something you need to worry about right now.
Well, as I understand it, the Fontaine Research Institute is also trying to find a way to counter the rising water levels.
Really? Have they found anything?
I'm afraid that they haven't found any effective solution thus far.
Oh, is that so? Well, no wonder. This issue has reached the realm of the gods, after all. Still, their spirit is praiseworthy.
हेलो लड़ा मेरा देखिए कुछ रुका हुआ है आपके क्वेस्ट में बस ये खत्म होने वाला अभी बेड पे सोएगी और खत्म हो जाएगा जस्ट डोंट स्लीप फॉर लाइक 5 minutes
I haven't had a moment to breathe this
देखिए रो
whole
रही है
time. It's good to see that everything's getting on track.
लसर में
There are no longer any voices of suspicion. Maybe this is fine. I just need to keep going.
आप लाइव स्ट्रीम कर रहे हैं तो लाइव स्ट्रीम में कैसे सो सकता
है हम लाइव स्ट्रीम कर रहे हैं
All right.
नहीं गान हो रहा है
Don't think too hard
ओनली
about
फैंस
this. You need rest. Tomorrow's
सब
a
लाइव
new
स्ट्रीम
day.
ऑन करके नींद ले रहे लेट्स गो
ओपेरा हाउस
हम बस स्टेटमेंट रीड करते
Lady
हैं
Farina, here are the new trial reports for the latest cases, as well as a summary of the follow-up.
There'll be no need for that. I've seen them already. There's no need to go back over scenes I've witnessed in person before.
Lady Farina, I've waited so long for this chance to see you in this manner.
Indeed, my dear, loyal citizen. This joyous moment is an honor for us both.
Lady Farina, we're detecting significant hydrological anomalies near Poisson.
Understood. Keep monitoring. Keep me
This
informed
part
should
is just
anything come
like
up at the
Farina
institute.
दिन भर काम करती है रात में गाँव रात में मतलब रोती है just a human
Don't think I let anything slip today.
सोते है क्या
Must show the people that there is nothing to worry about.
भैंचोद
I just
क्या हो गया
don't
Hello.
know when these days
अबे
will end.
सोते है क्या सही नहीं सुना तो
अबे आवाज नहीं आ रहा क्या
Best to rest early
हो
today
गया
too.
भाई गया बंदा
हेलो
भैंचोद
हेलो
सूत गया क्या
नहीं बे हम बोल रहे हैं हेलो हेलो आवाज नहीं जा रहा क्या मेरा तुमको
अभी आपका अंकल का सूत गया अभी घर याद है फोन कर
क्या है
इसी पूरी में जमीन पे बैठा
पैर फैला के मोर लाइक अ मिशनरी पोजीशन
Seen 1,82,000 what the fuck
Lady Farina,
हम ये चीज नोटिस नहीं किया जब हम कर
it's
रहे
like a dream being able to
Being
speak
able to
with you up
speak,
close like this.
ये सीन
I've
ऊपर
heard
के
that
ना
the first member of our family who was
1,82,000
honored
का
to
सीन
receive
देख रहे हैं
audience
आप
with
500
you
साल में
was Madame
इतना गांड
Diotaria,
रहा है इसका
almost
एक्चुअली
20
गांड रहा है
generations ago.
भाई सही में फेड अप हो गई होगी यार वो
And what a fine family yours is indeed. It brings me great
कई
joy
बार फरीना
to
के लिए
meet
बहुत
such
बुरा
a
लगता है यार
faithful
हमको
believer. A descendant of a line most ardent.
हाँ
डेटा यूसेज
Surely you
वार्निंग
exaggerate, Lady Farina.
हमको डेटा यूसेज वार्निंग आ रहा है जियो
My lady?
बंद करिए
What is it, good citizen?
रो रही थी
Are you crying?
यस
obviously
Really now? I didn't even notice. This must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well,
Oh,
can't quite help being the
एक
god
तगड़ा
whose
टॉर्च की ना
dominion is the waters, can I?
No wonder.
बेचारी रो रही है यार.
A manifestation of your power, then. Oh, Archon, I am honored to have witnessed it. Honored indeed.
अरे
बहुत
यार.
की भाई.
So interminable. So lonely.
अरे नहीं यार. किसी लड़की को ऐसे रोते हुए नहीं देख सकते यार हम.
Hundreds of years must have passed.
हमको बुरा फील होने लगता है बे.
Perhaps the show must go on
देखिए
for
विजन नहीं.
hundreds more.
What the fuck?
I never imagined that it would hurt so much.
अरे नहीं रो यार.
Reached my limit.
Fuck.
No. Perhaps I reached it long ago. Today I didn't
अब
even
समझ में
notice
आता है
my
इसके ऊपर
own
क्या
tears.
बीतता होगा यार.
I want to tell someone, anyone, about this. But would that not destroy all I've done so far? I've conducted so many investigations across the centuries. But there's not even a sliver of hope that we might break the prophecy. All I can do is keep heart. I must maintain this act. It is the only way to save Fontaine. Please, mirror me. You have to succeed.
बाप रे बाप. 1,82,376 सीन है. What the hell?
Farina,
I guess he
you
old
don't
scene
have to
है.
shoulder this burden alone.
जिसमें
Although I
आपके
don't
रूम
know
में
what you
पैक थे
might be
फरीना के
keeping from
साथ.
everyone. Your people are more than willing to
याद है.
share your burden with you.
रूम में जो सीन था वो 1,82,376वां सीन था. Damn.
Share my burden. That's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be my duty alone. But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, you can still choose to confide in someone. Just share it with me. I'm what you'd call a witness. A witness? Yes, I've heard that you came to Tevat from beyond the stars, yes. In other words, you never belonged here. And if Tevat is, in its entirety, a show on a stage, then you're just a spectator, aren't you?
Copy paste.
If that's the case... She's right. I could confide in her, couldn't I? But if things don't play out as expected, the people of Fontaine will be the ones to pay the price. No, Farina. You shouldn't be selfish.
देखिए अभी इसका बाल ग्लो कर रहा है ना, कहीं कि इसके पास गॉडहुड वाला
What if it's
नेचर है.
really all right? Farina, you've worked
फिर
so
ग्लो नहीं करेगा आप इसका
for
रिक्वेस्ट करेगा
so long. Surely it would be okay to put yourself first for once. Just this once. Is it such an outrageous thing to do anyway? To find someone in whom you can confide your frustrations and sorrows? Surely it could not hurt. If you let this opportunity slip through your fingers, it might never come by again. Think about it long and hard. No, I have nothing to say. I am Farina, the Archon of Fontaine.
NPC mode
Everything will surely get better. All you
भाई
need to do,
कितनी ज्यादा
dear
स्ट्रांग है यार ये.
is to witness my performance until the curtains fall.
नहीं बे भाई कितना तगड़ा इमोशन छुपा लेती है यार ये
अच्छा.
अपना.
अच्छा हुआ जब से रोई है तब से आपका नींद हराम हो गया।
अरे नहीं यार, उसको रोते देख साला हमको बुरा फील होने लगा बे।
हम एक बार देख चुके हैं ना इसलिए हमको।
लेकिन हमको लगा कि जैसे हम बहुत गलत काम कर रहे हैं, ऐसा हमको फील होने लगा, हम गिल्टी फील करने लगे।
तो सेंटेंस ही नहीं बोले, ही इज गिल्टी। मत बोलिए, गांड मार लेगा निबलेट।
So even Farina doesn't know the truth? You've never once let her in on the full plan?
Yes, it had to be done. To deceive the heavenly principles, you must first deceive yourself. She did very well. If she had let her resolve falter even once in these 5 centuries, Fontaine would have been doomed to the most tragic fate. It seems that trusting humanity was the right decision after all.
क्यों जाते हैं साला?
I believe that I understand how your deception works. But that is only half the truth, is it not? How would you build on this foundation to save the people of Fontaine? That is the most important thing.
Good. Of course, the Iudex of Fontaine has pinpointed the crux of the issue. I'm sure you've long sensed that the Oratrice is no simple machine. Yes?
Fontaine का स्टोरी अभी तक का सबसे बेस्ट स्टोरी है।
Mention that he heard a human voice within the core chamber. It now seems that that person was you, hidden within the machine all along. Am I right?
And then I became one with the Oratrice, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me. Yes, it would seem so, wouldn't it? Alas, your understanding of this device still lacks sufficient depth. In truth, it is no enactor of justice. It is, in fact, a device created to kill the god of justice.
और रिकॉर्ड करना चाहिए क्या हमको?
I beg your pardon.
Oh, you have it. And to be more precise, not only will the Oratrice take down the god of justice, it will also take down the divine throne upon which she has been placed. I mean, did you think I would be the sort to enjoy peaceful repose while Farina suffered? My work over these last 500 years has been to constantly accumulate indemnitium within the Oratrice. But really, some have already discovered that only a small fraction of the energy generated by the device was ever used to provide power to Fontaine. The vast majority had to be accumulated to enact this death sentence.
It was all part of your plan then? Both the trial and the sentence?
Indeed. This power, accrued over 5 centuries, could have sustained Fontainians for millennia had it only been used for that purpose. Almost all of it has now been stored within the Oratrice. But only power of this magnitude could hope to destroy the Hydro Archon's divine throne, shaking the rules established by Celestia and breaking through the institution that is the Seven.
So the Oratrice's call for death was for neither Farina nor Focalor, but for the Hydro Archon.
इसके बाद फाउंटेन का कोई भी हाइड्रो आर्कन एग्जिस्ट नहीं
करेगा। If I do not misunderstand your intent.
अभी कितना टाइम लगेगा उसको कटसीन आने में?
Returning what's rightfully yours to you, of course. In other words, this was all done to return the authority of the Hydro Archon to the Hydro Dragon of this planet.
But...
Five minutes काफी आने वाला जल्दी से.
Oh, what? Getting sad again, are we? The authority of the ancient dragons shall soon be yours once more, O Hydro Dragon Sovereign.
अब इसी के भरोसे फोंटेन को छोड़कर चली जाएगी.
Obviously, इसको तो ऐसे ही full
all you've done throughout the years is just so you can sacrifice yourself at the very end.
अरे यार.
I've never quite seen it that way, you know. Even now, I'm quite pleased at how well my deception worked.
भाई न्यूलर जैसा आदमी रो दिया यार.
Hydro Dragon, Hydro Dragon.
भाई रो रहा है बाहर बाढ़ आ लोग
I must say, had it been within my rights, I would have loved to judge the heavenly principles themselves. Were they not guilty of essentially the same crime? Egeria stole the power of the primordial sea, and the heavenly principles stole the power you ancient dragons possessed. I, for my part, am the god of justice. And is it not just that your original powers should be returned to you? Speaking of justice, I have always believed that justice lies in the process of pursuing human existence itself. So, if the theft of the primordial sea's might was Fontaine's original sin, then, leaving matters of procedural right and wrong aside, the descent of the Fontainians as humans and their right to exist in this world would be Fontaine's original justice. In other words, existence was Egeria's justice, and to me, justice is the continuation of that existence. Defying the prophecy and ensuring that Fontaine's people shall live on, that should be the justice enthroned over all others. At this point, we, whether it be myself or all other Fontainians, have shouldered the burden of this sin for far too long. Iudex Nervillet, the highest judge in our land, when you regain your full power as an elemental sovereign, what verdict shall you pass upon us?
So when I was invited to the court of Fontaine to serve as Iudex, I see now that that was your idea too. At last, I now understand the true purpose behind this position. In the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence. But these 5 centuries of living alongside them have gradually brought about mutual understanding between us. And I have even attempted to feel as they feel. You are a devious one, Focalor. Things being as they are, surely you know that I could never declare them to be guilty.
Never to guilty बोलता नहीं oh fuck.
It's the time. Please.
The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not sound it, but faced with death, I find myself a little afraid.
नहीं भाई हम नहीं देख पाएंगे यार ये.
This is one thing both gods and humans have in common. Farewell, Nervillet. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
नहीं यार. क्यों? अब फुरीना हाइड्रो आर्कन हो गई.
बोली ना कि वो हाइड्रो आर्कन का थ्रोन ही डिस्ट्रॉय कर दिया. अब पे हाइड्रो आर्कन नहीं बन सकता.
अच्छा अच्छा.
लाइक अगर आप उसको बुलाना चाहते हैं तो बुला सकते हैं. टेक्निकली नहीं.
तब ये एक नॉर्मल ह्यूमन हो गई ना फुरीना. भाई बाहर
बाढ़ आ जाएगा भाई न्यूक्लियर टेक्नोलॉजी तो किसी यही फुलफिल कर देगा
I, Udex Nivelet, hereby declare, people of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
What just happened? Has the death sentence been carried out?
Fuck. क्या हो गया? Hey, bro, what the fuck?
भाई क्या था ये?
Are you on the street?
ये हाँ क्या था ये भाई? नेक्स्ट लेवल भाई नेक्स्ट लेवल यार वो एकदम अनएक्सपेक्टेड चीज था यार हाँ भयंकर ऐसा स्टोरी अभी तक जितना भी गेम खेले भाई ऐसा स्टोरी नहीं देखे यार पहला बार था ये जो हाँ पहला बार बहनचोद कोई गेम हमको इतना इमोशनल कर दिया
गेम क्या मूवी तक आप ऐसा नहीं देखे होंगे
ओह
Fuck. Let's just continue now.
Hats off जो भी स्टोरी लिखा है भाई नो वर्ड्स उसके बारे में क्या कह लोग यार
वही मच गया
just next level यार
Was that bright light some sort of misdirection? I have a feeling that something huge just happened.
भाई
since we're all still alive and haven't
अगर
been resolved,
ये देखकर कोई इमोशनल नहीं हो रहा है ना यार तो भाई आदमी के पास
It's time
फीलिंग्स
to
नहीं
end
होगा
this.
पक्का
We must mete out punishment to that
लाइव
beast.
स्ट्रीमर है ना इसका सब्र हो गया
Say just a moment ago that it can't be defeated?
I have gained the strength sufficient to deal with it. Through certain means, I now have the ability to separate the power of the primordial sea from that creature. We should seize the opportunity to pursue our quarry.
अब ये नारावेल को जाकर मारेगा
अभी बोल रहा था ना कि नारावेल को नहीं मार सकते
हाँ
अब इसको मिल गया हाइड्रोनोसिस
Traveler,
मतलब वो गॉड के पास ही सिर्फ पावर था नारावेल
I
को मारने
require
का
an executor to help me mete out justice.
अभी हाइड्रो ड्रैगन फुली फ्लेश हाइड्रो ड्रैगन भैया छोड़
अभी तो क्या हमको इससे फाइट करने के लिए मिलेगा या फिर कोई कट सीन चलेगा
The root of the calamities befalling Fontaine.
I will fuck that motherfucker.
Prophecy. Its name is the all-devouring narwhal. Come with me, traveler.
I am ready.
The hour of execution has come.
भाई ये जो सेकंड लाइन था यार the hour of execution has come.
it actually came. Navia? Was that Navia?
Find a way to attack it from within.
Can you show this where point
the ancient dragon. We shall look for an opening again. I can feel its sorrow turning into hostility.
Nice and spicy. Fire hazard.
अबे यार एम ले उस पर।
Here come the fireworks.
आपको उस चीज को डिस्ट्रॉय करना चाहिए।
The all-devouring narwhal cannot resist its instinct to devour. Continue to trigger its hostility. Chance will present itself.
That's umbrella warfare, I guess.
अब वो इस प्लान है।
Coming at ya.
He's gonna eat you. What the fuck?
Why is there a hole being over there? That's scary. Hey there! Hey there! That's enough! I'm surprised, man. Watch out! Hiya!
I have granted you my protection. Do not fear. Seize the moment and use my power to suppress its root from within. Manifest the authority of the ancient dragon. Witness the might of the primordial sea.
Strike pose! Coming at ya!
Kill that bastard.
अभी आपको एक प्राइमोर्डियल बीइंग से दिखेगा तो दिखेगी। जो हुआ नहीं न्यूलेट नहीं किया अभी अभी जो हुआ
कुछ भी हो पर इसको मारो।
ये जो हुआ अभी न्यूलेट नहीं किया। लेट्स गो।
ये कौन है?
पता चल जाएगा। चाइल्ड को कैसे फेंकी देखिए ना। फेंक के हाथ झाड़ दिए चाइल्ड को। लगता है इसे पंख था।
Thanks for helping with the cleanup. It should have been my job, but
This is a primordial being.
it was just supposed to be a short private training session for me. I didn't think that my disciple and my master's pet would start brawling in the meantime. Well, actually, I had a feeling that it would happen at some point. But they bumped into one another earlier than I thought.
चाइल्ड की मास्टर ये है और इसकी
Suppose
मास्टर
I'll have to swing my sword 3 million times as penance.
What the fuck?
That power. Who are you exactly?
Hyman has an idea. From what she said earlier, she must be Child's master. Skirk, right? It's just that he gave us the impression that she was the less talkative person.
I simply did not have anything to say to the weak. But you, on the other hand, managed to defeat the all-devouring narwhal without using power from beyond this world.
भाई
So you may speak to me as
अपना फुल
equals.
फॉर्म से और ये लिटरली नारायण को गेंद बना दी।
न्यूलेट से ज्यादा पावरफुल है यार स्कर की।
इन न्यूलेट से कुछ ज्यादा ही पावरफुल है।
I have to
नारायण को
agree.
लिटरली
It's a
गेंद बना
strange
दी।
use of a
क्या ये
planet's
playable
primordial
character है?
waters just to raise an
बिल्कुल नहीं, अभी
all-devouring
तक तो
narwhal.
कोई
That kind of
दूर तक
power is
नहीं है
wasted on
और
it.
होगी भी नहीं।
It's not
बहुत
cooperative.
मुश्किल
It
है।
eats too much. And I have more
अगर
important
इतना
things to
ओवर
do with
पावर्ड
my time
कैरेक्टर आ
than
जाता है तो
pets
फिर
there.
दूसरे कैरेक्टर को
The
पावर
only thing that creature has going for
गेम
it
कुछ
is its
बचेगा
wings.
यार।
All in all,
न्यूलेट
it
ही है।
fails as a pet.
लिटरली बर्बाद कर जाता है, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है गेम में। कोई आ जाए सामने।
Missed the point.
The point being...
स्कर तो न्यूलेट से भी ऊपर है।
Pet almost almost destroyed an entire nation.
Literally वो pet था.
So what sort of person is your master?
इसका पैर देखिए ना.
Well, child's master's.
कॉस्मिक बीइंग जैसा पैर है बे इसका.
Wait, is that right?
Oh, right. So you don't know him. Sorry, I assumed you did. His name is Sir Taloji.
Huh?
I am unfamiliar with that name.
Huh. So Master isn't sufficiently famous. How should I describe him then? Have you heard of the name the Fowl?
चिड़िया मारने के बाद जो मिलता है.
Still nothing? Well, how about the Visionary?
You dumb fuck.
Vetterfalnir then? Or Gold Rhine-daughter?
Rhine-daughter.
Oh, we've heard. Rhine-daughter's part of the Hexen Circle. She's a beta farm, right?
Yep.
Oh, so you do know that name. To be honest, I also heard all of those names and titles from my master. I don't actually know them either. But I suppose you understand now, yes?
What the hell?
My master is likely a similar sort to mine. They are both pursuing some form of perfection.
Wait! Didn't you also
Whatever, but her
mention a
hips are
visionary
just
person?
amazing.
Paimon didn't quite catch their name.
Actually, never mind that. I believe it expedient to inform you that the all-devouring narwhal used up nearly all its strength fighting you.
Balls.
Such roiling hydro energies will prove difficult for the planet's deep seas to digest. As such, the Fontaine back on the surface has most likely been thrown into chaos. In other words, the prophecy that you've been fretting over should now be in full swing.
What?
अभी तक prophecy हो ही रहा है. इसको और न्यूबलेट को पता है, ट्रैवलर और न्यूबलेट को, पाइमन को थोड़ी.
Not to worry. Focalor has already managed to deceive the heavenly principles.
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only Farina will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
वो क्या पानी का लेवल बढ़ गया?
फाउंटेन है पानी के नीचे.
हाँ तो वो ये कोई मतलब कोई इमेजिनेशन नहीं है, ये रियलिटी है ना?
ये रियलिटी है. एक्चुअली इसके नीचे फाउंटेन है, रियल वाला फाउंटेन.
तो वो प्रॉफिट सही हो गया ना इसका मतलब? फोसलर अपना कुर्बानी दी फिर भी.
प्रॉफिसी लाइक बाढ़ आने में सही हो गया, लेकिन बाढ़ में डिजॉल्व होने वाला प्रॉफिसी.
और ये तो वही शिप है ना जो वो लोग बना रहा था सीक्रेटली.
All hands initiate emergency rescue.
इसीलिए तो रिपोर्ट कर रहा है.
Hurry!
और किसी ने कहा कि सब डिजॉल्व हो जाएगा, खाली फोरिना बचेगी. तो डिजॉल्व होने वाला प्रॉफिसी वही तो ठीक है.
चलो एट लास्ट कुछ तो अच्छा हुआ यार. बट पूरा का पूरा फाउंटेन डूब गया ना.
Look, the water's receding.
पानी घट रहा. नारावल चट गया ना तो पानी घट रहा.
It's a miracle. The water's receding. We didn't dissolve. The prophecy was wrong. The prophecy was wrong.
ही रही पूरी हमारी।
भाई बेचारे के साथ जिंदगी में कुछ तो अच्छा हुआ यार, फाइनली।
इसके तो वो मेहनत कर रही थी। मैं
भाई आज 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 का मेरा नींद उड़ गया अब। आज हमको अब नींद नहीं आने वाला।
ये बाकी है क्वेस्ट। एक्चुअली बाकी है।
हम ये सोच रहे हैं बहन चौदह हम सोएं कैसे। बहन
ट्राई करिए।
पता है इतना ज्यादा हमको हॉरर मूवी देखकर हम चैन की नींद सो जाते थे यार, लेकिन ये चीज देखने के बाद अलग ही एकदम फीलिंग लग रहा है हमको।
देखिए तो अभी इसका प्रोफाइल में चेंजेस आया नहीं, अभी कहाँ से आया होगा। इसका स्टोरी क्वेस्ट करिएगा तब आएगा। हेलो,
हाँ हाँ हाँ,
कैरेक्टर सेक्शन ट्राई करिए तो फरीना का। अभी भी लॉक्ड, अभी क्वेश्चन मार्क ही है।
I didn't know you cared so much about me.
Let's continue the quest.
टाइम कितना हो रहा है भाई?
1 बज रहा।
1:30 बजने वाला है। क्या अभी भी करना है आगे?
I really want to go traveling.
एक्ट 5 कब खत्म होगा यार?
As I have my friends with me.
खत्म हो गया बस, मुश्किल से आधा घंटा का हो। बस बातचीत करना, इधर उधर सबसे मिलना, किसी किसी गांड बचा है।
अरे यार
क्वेस्ट रोके हुए यार।
शार्लेट
शार्लेट जो है ना एकदम 3 दिन खराब कर ले रहती है।
शार्लेट का स्टोरी क्वेस्ट है ये, मे बी।
क्या मजाक है, शार्लेट का स्टोरी क्वेस्ट कब से आ गया? 4 स्टार है वो।
अबे तो ये किसका स्टोरी क्वेस्ट है?
जस्ट एक साइड क्वेस्ट है इसमें। इसका रिवॉर्ड में प्रीमो जिम नहीं ना है, तुरंत खत्म हो जाएगा। बच गया फाउंटेन।
दिस वाज अ मास्टरपीस यार।
ये बात पे आनंद का बताओ कि कार्टून नहीं है।
हम भी स्टार्टिंग में यही समझ रहे थे। यहाँ हम भाई जब तक फरीना के बारे में जाने तब तक हमको ये गेम नहीं लगा इतना सीरियसली, लेकिन भाई जब फरीना के बारे में जाने, उसका स्ट्रगल जाने, क्या उसके ऊपर बीता, फिर फसलौर वो अपने लोग का भला कर रही थी यार, कुछ गलत नहीं कर रही थी वो।
हमको पता ही क्या
That's right.
क्या?
Oh, but why?
क्या?
Technically speaking, cases like this are better left to the guards. Nicolette! Sabine! Hey there! What are you two
ये
talking
नेवलेट का
about?
स्टोरी क्वेस्ट है।
Traveler in Paimon, please help me talk our Chief Justice out of this. He wants to investigate a case on his own. This is completely unprecedented. How could we have the Udex acting like a private detective?
इसको नहीं करिए हजरत तो ज्यादा बढ़िया होगा। You don't want to use your 2 hours.
तो ये लो वसूल
Thank you
खत्म
for your
करके।
concern, but I currently have no such plans. Oh, Apologies, I took your question in earnest, but it now occurs to me that it was most likely in jest.
So, what is it exactly? It sure sounds serious if it's something you've got to investigate personally.
A Melusine named Kiara received a threat letter.
And then?
That is all the information I have acquired at this stage.
I have no idea why you're so hung up over this. I've checked the schedule in advance, and it seems like there aren't any trials today. So, if you insist, I have no objections.
Thank you for understanding. I will leave a note explaining my absence on my desk. I would appreciate it if you could take it to Lady Farina. She may have no interest in official affairs, but standard procedure dictates that I'm still responsible for reporting to her.
Yes, understood. I'll come back later and deliver the note to her. Judging from Sadine's reaction, it must be pretty rare for you to investigate stuff personally. What's so special about this case?
I cannot tell you just yet, but it reminded me of certain past events. There could be complicated conflicts of interest behind all this, so I must eliminate all risks in advance.
Come on, stop being so secretive! We still have no idea what's going on!
It is not my intention to keep you in the dark, but I need some time to revisit those memories and collect
अरे
my thoughts.
ऐसा है क्या कि फोंटेन के स्टडी क्वेस्ट के बीच में ये न्यूलेट का हमको क्वेस्ट करना पड़ेगा?
I became the Eudex of Fontaine and initiated a series of institutional reforms. There were few people I could trust, but I had two subordinates who were exceptionally trustworthy and capable. Carol, a Melusine, and Vautrin, leader of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol.
They must have been amazing people to receive such high praise from you!
Indeed. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to protect them. The reforms damaged the interests of some, and the more conservative faction took advantage of Carol's identity to instigate political unrest. Ultimately, they wanted me to yield more of my power. The incident resulted in Carol taking her own life, and Vautrin being exiled. From then on, I've been especially careful when dealing with cases related to Melusines. All Melusines used to live a secluded life away from human society. I granted their wishes when some of them, including Carol, asked me to bring them to the court of Fontaine. Many common folk believe that I share a special bond with the Melusines, and whatever they do can be traced back to me. Some of them, especially those who hold a grudge against me, exploit that belief and stir up conflict over Melusines in an attempt to lay the blame on me. I have nothing against the opinions of others, but the moment a whirlpool of conspiracy forms, it inevitably affects the innocent. It has already happened once, and I want to make sure it does not happen again.
Even so, why do you have to be the one investigating? There's the guards, the Maréchaussée Phantom, and the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol. Aren't they more than enough to figure out what's going on?
Based on prior experience, there is a high chance that those who hold hostility towards me do not belong to the same department. The political system of Fontaine is relatively complex and involves the interests of multiple different factions. However, since I am technically an outsider in Fontaine, a lot of trouble could be avoided if I personally took on the case.
Outsider? But aren't you the Chief Justice of Fontaine? Why would you be an outsider?
I understand where you are coming from, but there is not necessarily a connection between my responsibilities and how I perceive myself. You know very well about my true identity, and have even met others of my kind in other nations. Even though I was born with a human form, there is a fundamental difference between dragons and humans. Taking on the role of Chief Justice does not make me a part of this community. In fact, The status I was granted has prevented me from forming deeper bonds with others. I have lived in Fontaine for a long time, but I do not belong here. That is why I call myself an outsider, a fish out of water.
पायमन अभी गन मार लेगी पूरा का पूरा सेंटेंस का क्या है हमको चीज याद है क्लिक
Yeah, we have nothing to do with all those organizations anyway. So how about we come with you on your investigation? Let's team up and round up all the bad guys lurking in the dark.
That does not sound like a bad idea. I rarely investigate cases on my own, but with professionals like you around, I'm sure it will go a lot smoother.
Paimon's starting to get a little embarrassed. Just leave it to us.
I will write my note of absence right away. Let us depart together once I'm done. Let us go. We should visit Kiara first and try to gain a better understanding of the situation.
So Neuvillette feels like he doesn't truly belong here in Fontaine, but is that really true? Paimon feels like he has a kinda skewed perspective on a lot of things. Anyway, let's catch up with him first.
अभी ये स्टार्ट होगा।
Paimon's been thinking.
1.5 घंटे का क्वेस्ट है। It's not a joke. You have to do it. ओह, इसमें लाइक बस एक पार्ट है जिसमें सार्लेट इन्वॉल्व है, वो पार्ट कर लीजिएगा तब हो जाएगा। ये तो शुरू का ही पार्ट है, फिर भी 15-20 मिनट लगेगा। डोंट डू इट। इतना ज्यादा स्टोरी क्वेस्ट? ओह फक, डोंट टेल मी आप सबका स्टोरी क्वेस्ट एक्सेप्ट किए हुए हैं।
यस।
Oh, you stupid piece of shit.
I fucked it up.
भाई लिटरली स्टार्टिंग का एक कैरेक्टर का देखिए क्या करिए ना। मत बताते हैं, हम बताएंगे आपको यार कौन को। इसके बाद आप फरीना का स्टोरी क्वेस्ट कर। फरीना का नेक्स्ट पार्ट आ रहा है 4.6 में। एक्ट 1 है ना, एक्ट आएगा 4.6 में।
नाविया का भी एक्ट 1 है।
नाविया का एक्ट 2 नहीं आने वाला। अब यहाँ पे नोटिस किए हैं ज्यादातर आर्कॉन का ही 2 चैप्टर है और एक योमिया का, सबका नहीं। साइनो का भी आने वाला।
योमिया का कहाँ 2 चैप्टर? अच्छा एक्ट 2। तो क्या हम योमिया का एक पार्ट कर चुके हैं?
हाँ, वो आर्कॉन क्वेस्ट के टाइम करना कंपलसरी होता।
अच्छा,
आप क्या करते हैं ना, इसको अनलॉक करके आप एक्सेप्ट कर लेते हैं। अनलॉक करके एक्सेप्ट मत करिए,
बस अनलॉक करके छोड़ देना।
अनलॉक करके छोड़ दीजिए, फिर जब मन करेगा तब करिएगा। अभी तो फुरीना का कहीं करिएगा, आर्कन क्वेस्ट के बाद जाएगा।
फुरीना का, नाविया का, जेन्यून का, न्यूवलेट का भी सोच रहे हैं ऑन स्ट्रीम करने का।
जेन्यून का तो बहुत ज्यादा मैटर करता है स्टोरी क्वेस्ट। हम इसको स्पॉइल नहीं करना चाहेंगे।
अभी न्यूवलेट का स्टोरी क्वेस्ट स्टार्ट ही ना हुआ है, इसको भी रहने देते हैं। कल स्ट्रीम करेंगे तो कल हम स्ट्रीम पर पूरा पूरा न्यूवलेट का स्टोरी क्वेस्ट लपेट देंगे। और उसके बाद फिर परसों जाकर फिर से आर्कन क्वेस्ट का
कंटिन्यू। Has a dragon out of water?
अच्छा था, fish out of water, dragon out of water, चूत दी।
That sounds kind of weird. Let's stick with the previous version instead.
जहाँ से इनेबल्ड का स्टोरी क्वेस्ट रहेगा और मतलब अनलॉक हो जाएगा आर्कन, तो पहले आर्कन कर लीजिए, फिर न्यू भी कर लीजिए, या फिर आपको जैसे मन हो।
न्यूवलेट का करने बैठेंगे तो एक ही बार में न्यूवलेट का पूरा कर देंगे कल, फिर परसों आर्कन क्वेस्ट करेंगे
और उसके उसी दिन कर दीजिएगा फुरीना का। फुरीना का ज्यादा लंबा नहीं, 1 घंटा 20 मिनट।
देखते हैं आर्कन क्वेस्ट अब कितना बचा हुआ होगा।
20 मिनट।
कितना?
20 मिनट खत्म हो गया सब कुछ, बस ऐसे बस बातचीत करना है।
एक्ट 6 बाकी है ना अभी।
एक्ट 6 है भी दुनिया में।
I really want to
अच्छा
go
एक्ट 5 ये
traveling.
लास्ट है।
I don't mind where we go, as long as I have my friends with me.
देखिए आर्कन क्वेस्ट खत्म होने के बाद लास्ट में सब कैरेक्टर से बातचीत करना होता है।
हाँ
यही बस बाकी है, अब सब खत्म हो गया है आर्कन क्वेस्ट। अब वर्जन 5.1 में 5.0 में आएगा प्लान। शिट कितना स्पिन है आपके पास?
पहले एक मिनट रुको, इस साला जाने के लिए कहाँ बोल रहा है? यहाँ पे जाने के लिए बोल रहा है। चलो हम यहाँ रहेंगे, ऐसा ना हो कि हम बाहर टेलीपोर्ट मारे हैं बस हमको तीर ले।
कितना स्पिन है भाई दादा आपके पास आपके न्यू रिलेट के लिए? 17 पीटी ऑलरेडी कर चुके हैं न्यू रिलेट के लिए। व्हाट द फक, 8 9 मेरा 17 पीटी होल है, आपका 40 के आसपास है ना?
मेरा 40 पीटी हुआ।
एक बार 50-50 नहीं हारी मजा।
चलो ओके गाइस, पता है हमको कोई स्ट्रीम देख तो रहा नहीं होगा, लेकिन फिर भी आज का स्ट्रीम यही ख़त्म करते हैं। स्टोरी काफ़ी अच्छा था। जिसके सही का पास पीसी होगा भाई गेम ज़रूर एक बार ट्राई करो। मोबाइल पे नहीं रिकमेंड करें, क्योंकि मोबाइल पर अगर तुम्हारे पास 25-30 हज़ार का फ़ोन नहीं तो फिर तुम्हें मज़ा नहीं आएगा ये गेम खेलने में। यू विल बी फक्ड अप। यस, जब तक तुम इस गेम को मैक्स ग्राफिक्स पे नहीं खेलोगे तुम्हें मज़ा ही नहीं आएगा, कि लगेगा कि गेम कार्टून है। नहीं, मैक्स ग्राफिक्स पे भी ऐसा नहीं है कि एकदम बिल्कुल हो जाएगा रियल टाइम ग्राफिक्स,
बस तुम
बट इट वाज
लीवे
लाइक
का क्वेस्ट करो, जिसको भी खेलना है लीवे के क्वेस्ट के बाद से पीस जनरेट हो जाएगा।
हाँ, वहाँ से थोड़ा थोड़ा क्यूरियोसिटी जनरेट हो जाता है, मेरा भी हुआ था। चलो गाइस बंद करते हैं, अब कल मिलते हैं न्यूलेट के स्टोरी क्वेस्ट में।